Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Centralist News Program. We are live tonight from I'm in New Orleans, people. I don't know where this guy is, but he's somewhere in the
Waynesboro,
northern part.
Pennsylvania,
Oh my God, he's in Pennsylvania, in the
other side of the
in
country.
the Frank. Oh, I mean, in the Lurch state. Yeah, well, they got a senator named Lurch up there. Well, not named Lurch, but he just looks like Lurch. How's that?
Looks like Lurch.
Yes. Well, we're going to get into all of this stuff. There's a lot of news to get into tonight. There's a lot of stuff going on. We have people leaving the parties. I mean, this will be the third woman to leave the Democrat Party in 6 months, and we'll get into that in a little while. But we're going to open up with the Brittany Griner story.
Oh, God.
So I'm sitting up this morning. I'm minding my business. My wife brings me a cup of coffee, piece of toast like she does every morning. No, she's just sweet like that. And so I'm sitting there. I'm drinking my coffee. She looks because bet she knew this was going to piss me off. She goes, they let Brittany Griner out. I'm like, what? She said, "Oh yeah, they let her out." I'm like, "Wait! For who did they?" So then I find out. So we let out an arms dealer for this chick. I'm confused, guys. Don't take me. I have nothing personal against Brittany. I mean, she brought illegal drugs in. She brought in vapes, but then she brought in, and I didn't know this. She had quite a lot of this stuff. That's why they charged her with smuggling. So yeah, y'all didn't
Cool.
know that she got charged with smuggling. That's why she got 9 years. And so we're gonna let a basketball girl. I mean, she really no claim to fame other than that.
A mediocre athlete at
Yeah,
best.
at best, for an arms dealer. Now, I know she couldn't, but just a big girl, she would have fared pretty well in the Russian prison. It's not like she's a little chick, and I just have a problem with this.
I do too.
Do you know how long it took us to catch this arms dealer, and how much shit he did, and how much shit he's going to do now?
Yeah. How many people is he going to harm on his way out?
So this little girl that we got out of jail is going to cost countless amount of lives. We won't even know for a decade. And was it worth it? That's my question. I mean, yes, Christine. If it wasn't my daughter, I'd be the same way. If it was my son, I'd be the same way. And you should be if it's your family. But looking at this, when you weigh the scales here, the scales of justice, this seemed mighty lopsided. I mean, we couldn't get a better deal than this. And wait, we got a guy over there, an American man who's been in jail for 4 years. What? Screw him? See, this is what's
And he's a
wrong with the
Marine.
Democrats. Yeah, this is what's wrong with the Democrats now. The Democrats are just screw everybody. They just want to do just what they want, and that's why people are leaving their party. It's not just representatives leaving their party, or I mean, politicians leaving the party. They're starting to lose members from their party, and they can say whatever they want in this election. This should have been a warning sign for them. Should be a warning sign for both of them. America's not happy with you, either one of y'all. They're not. Oh no, you're all right. I bet you now, DeSantis will be your next president, unless Trump runs as an independent, and then, well, I guess Joe Biden will be your next president. That just scares the shit out of me even thinking about that. It just. Anyway, we'll get to that in a little while. So getting back to Brittany, I mean, really and truly, ladies and gentlemen, do you really? You can write into us, people. You can call into us. You can do whatever you want. We're fixing to set up a system where you can actually physically call in. One of our new hosts coming from the UK was telling Michelle about a particular system they can use that you can call cell phone and tie it into StreamYard. So we'll probably add that in as well. In case y'all didn't know, we will become Roku stars. We'll actually be real TV stars, not just these apps. And which don't get me wrong, I'm happy with LinkedIn, and I'm happy with YouTube, and I'm happy with Facebook, and whoever else we're on. But Roku's real television. I mean, this is serious television. This is where Netflix is and HBO is, and everybody who's anybody went to Netflix when they came out. And now I couldn't even tell you. Last track I heard, Roku had over 4,000 different channels. Now we're going through a company who's connected with Roku, so we'll actually get featured for a while when we first get in, and we'll see where it goes. It should be interesting. This news program should do well on Roku. We have a lot of listeners to start off with, and I think some of this audience, some of our radio audience, will actually come to Roku to listen because they can't probably have Roku at home. A lot of people don't like going and getting on Facebook to watch this. It's just a pain in the ass, or YouTube, any of that stuff. And a lot of people are leaving YouTube. We're not live on Rumble yet. We will be soon, but we're not live right now.
Yeah, the only good benefit to Facebook, even though.
Jay's got probed. Jay, you're being probed. If he smiles, we'll know he likes it, people. We'll have to wait till it stops. I'm not sure what's going on there. It might be my hand. I don't know who it's. Could be him. It could be me. Jay, come back to us, Jay. Come back to us, Jay. Oh, he's gone, people. The universe has him. Well, anyway, until he comes back, I'll just yap away. We got a lot going on, and that's why we wanted to bring the. Oh, you back? We lost you.
Yeah, I froze up.
Yes, it looked like, and I told everybody if you smile, I said you were getting probed, and if you smiled, we know you liked it. So you're lucky you didn't smile when you came back. So, see, we were setting up before you even got here. But getting back to the Britney stuff, I mean, I don't understand. This is a serious prisoner we let go. I mean, this
Yeah.
guy, and
Well,
we don't treat our prisoners like did it. He went back healthy and strong. He's going to be out there selling arms to Iran and all over the Middle East again. And why?
yeah, and me and Michael actually discussed this briefly on Facebook. He put up a picture or something of her, and that he was glad she was out. My point of view is, if I were Biden or if I were the president, I'd let her rot. Unfortunately, I'd let her, play out her term. And the only reason is because she's not a player in politics. This Marine is, and I don't know his full story, whether he got, captured in Ukraine helping the Ukrainians, or he got caught at some other conflict between us and Russian forces. But he's a fighter. He's there and he loves America. Brittany Griner hasn't really come out and said any great things about America, and she got caught.
She's pretty said nasty stuff about America,
right? But she also she got caught on her own stupidity, bringing drugs into a country that's really heavy down on drugs. And the fact is that once she got caught, she was all arrogant about it. Oh, it's no big deal this, no big deal that. Let me out. I didn't do anything wrong. Well, yeah, you did. And I don't know how the Russian legal system is, but here in America, ignorance of the law is no defense against a law you've broken, even if inadvertently.
Yeah,
and she didn't inadvertently break it. She intentionally brought those drugs across the border and got caught in the process. And I'm sorry, but
that goes right back to her kneeling and all the stuff she was doing at the Olympics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It goes right back to that. She's arrogant, egotistical, and she thought she was above the law. Yeah. That's what she thought.
And she has no value versus this Marine who, we let this Marine out for this terrorist arms dealer. We can put him on the detail to go get him again. What is she going to do? Throw a basketball at him? Come on.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing. Who was more valuable to our country here? Who was going to be more loving to our country? The Marine would have been much more respectful. He would have been happy. We got him out. He'd have been ready to go back and fight for his country. And again, and he's right. What is Brittany going to do? Throw a basketball at the Russians or the Chinese when they come crossing our borders? She's going to run and hide like the little bitch she is. And I'm sorry, people. I think the Marine should have been let out first. This girl's a nobody, does nothing but hate on her country. So the guy who loves his country, we leave in jail. But the bitch who hates her country, we let out of jail. That's a typical Democratic move. That's typical Democrats do. It's one of the reasons why the party's dying.
We can put another twist on it, too. Let's just say that the Marine that's in there for 4 years was just a regular tourist like her, got caught bringing in drugs. He's been in there 4 years. How long was she in there? 9 months?
Yeah.
Get the guy out who's been there longer.
They should have got him out of jail. And this is going to cost us, you see, and Democrats don't realize this is going to cost them in the next election. They're going to use this against them. Oh, yeah, you let her out who hates our country, but the person who loves our country you left in jail. I just, I don't get it, people. Sometimes I just don't understand the Democrats anymore. They're greedy, egotistical asses who are just trying to hang on to power. They don't even care what they're doing for you anymore. There's no manifesto for them that actually helps us anymore. It's just all we're gonna hang up. Let's look at Fetterman. Fetterman's a moron. Now, don't get me wrong, people. I didn't like Dr. Oz either. Okay, see, this is the problem for me with that particular election. I didn't like Dr. Oz. Okay, and I agree with what I heard this on the way home. Sean Hannity was saying one of the problems with the Republicans is they're picking piss poor candidates, and that's true. Like Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker was a great football player, but what does he know about politics?
Yeah. And Dr. Oz is a fairly well-versed doctor. He's an educated man, and he's very charismatic. He's been on TV for however many years.
For a long time.
And he's way more charismatic than Fetterman. But, how good is he going to be versus Fetterman? Fetterman's already been in the government in Pennsylvania as lieutenant governor. But that doesn't mean anything either. Was he any good? I don't know. I didn't look that up. So.
Well, first off, I don't want my politicians wearing hoodies and their wives wearing goth outfits. I'm not even going to lie about that. Have a little respect for the position.
You're
That's
in a
all I'm saying.
government position, an elected official. You should be wearing a suit and a tie. On your weekend off, put the hoodie on. I don't care. But when you're doing
Yeah.
business for the state, when you're working for me, wear a damn suit.
Yeah, well, no, Denise, I agree with JJ. What Jay just said, I could care less how they dress when they're not doing official business for the country. But look, I believe that you should dress the part. If you're in the Senate or you're in the House, you should dress the part. You should be Women should be dressed nicely in dresses or whatever, and men should be dressed in suits. I mean, it's you should respect the position. If you don't, you have no business being there in the first place. We
Mm-hmm.
don't want to see a bunch of half-assed people in the House or the Senate. We just don't. And most Americans don't. Oh, what do you mean the millennials? No, the millennials didn't vote as near as much as the Democrats want you to think. Oh, they said that when Obama too. Oh, the young people came out. Well, where was the young people when they lost the House and the Senate for 8 years? Yeah. So there was that many voting for them. That's not true.
The other caveat to that is especially during both Obama administrations when he won, they would do those exit polls, and they were asking millennials in both occasions when he won. They were asking him questions about, oh, did you like how Obama did this thing or that thing or the other thing? And they were all things that Obama didn't do. There were things that Republicans had done or someone else had done, and they're like, oh, I love that. So the caveat to that is the millennials going in to vote haven't a clue who's doing what. They don't know why they're voting for who. They don't care who they're voting for who. They don't know a damn thing. I mean, I'm no political analyst myself. I'm not a genius in it. However, on this show and other shows with Joe, I predicted that Trump was going to win even before the election started really getting rolling. And, that's one win for me. And how many presidents did we correctly
So far, we've been right on it. I mean, we've been on all of it.
Almost every one of them.
So we predicted Trump won and lost. It wasn't even hard for us. Matter of fact, I said this. This is what was so funny. We finished the show about 11 o'clock on the last election, or last and before last, and Trump was way ahead. I mean, he was way ahead in all the polls everywhere. He was literally killing them. I said, I'm telling you now, guys, when we wake up tomorrow, Joe Biden's going to be our president.
I didn't believe you, but you were right.
And sure enough, the next morning, Joe Biden was our president. Whether he cheated or not, it doesn't matter at this point. He's our president. You can bitch they cheated, but it doesn't matter, people.
It can't be fixed at this point.
There's nothing you can do about it. All you can do is vote him out next time. Pay more attention to what's going on in your polling stations. That's all I can tell you about that. I mean, that's on y'all. That's not on anybody but the Republicans themselves. So,
it's all on that early voting stuff, the absentee voting, and the dead that get out of their graves for 50 years and vote. But back to they need education on these points, on where they're living, their state, their counties, their city elections, and they don't know. They just simply don't know who's done what for the country and how or what or why, and they just go and they throw in a vote, which I don't. If that to me, that's just bad. I vote generally across the party lines. In Pennsylvania, I have to be Republican. I would rather have been libertarian, but when I was changing my license over at the DMV here, I said, I'd like to register as a libertarian. And they said, oh, well, great, we'll do that for you, but you can't vote in presidential elections. And I'm like, what? Excuse me? I can't vote for any president if I do not register as a Republican or a Democrat. So my hands were tied on that. But I'm not going to tell you exactly who I voted for, but it was generally across party lines, except for where in this state, most of the choices I had, there was but one candidate, and that candidate was a Republican.
It's it's one of the things that's funny, like in Georgia, people saying, oh, well, maybe the Georgia race was fixed, maybe it wasn't. 7 out of 8, the Republicans swept. It wasn't even close. They swept those 7 positions, including the governor. Everybody likes, Stacey Abrams. He beat Stacey by like 16 points. That's a freaking landslide, is what that is. And both times he beat it by that. Stacey needs going, but the Democrats are having the same problem too. They're putting unelectable candidates. Stacey Abrams is not electable. She's a hate, and everybody knows she's full of hate, and she's racist against white people. So why would they put her in office? Oh yeah, she's extreme. She's been caught on tape more than one time. She's like Laura what is it, Littlefoot and Littlefoot's very racist, and so is Kamala Harris, because Littlefoot won't let anybody interview her but a black reporter. That's illegal, by the way, and racist. Yeah, that's very racist. And Kamala's the same way. And then Joe Biden said, "I'm only going to put a black woman in the Supreme Court. That is so illegal. It's not even funny. You cannot hire anyone based on color and sex. I'm sorry,
That's
people, but
way
if I
wrong.
did that, I'd be getting sued out of.
Any
And
business did that.
it's the
Any
same thing he
business.
did with the last one he put in for the speaker. He said the same thing. Oh, I want a black gay woman. And that's what he did. No, that's his words. It's not my words. It's his words. Don't get mad at me for something your president said, because he ain't my president. So when you say these kind of things, and why the Republicans have gone after him for this is beyond me. It's like the Jan 6 thing. So now there's going to be a whole new Jan 6 thing against how the Democrats were fudging stuff. Because you see, just recently, the Democrats sent a bunch of stuff to the DOJ for Jan 6 trying to get indictments going. So what's going to happen is the Republicans are going to come in and say, oh, no, you're not. We want to see everything. We want to see how it was done. We want to see all your emails. We want to see everything. This is not going to bode well for the Democrats. Well, you've seen where they gave
also is that they're trying to overwhelm the system so that they're bogged down in so many bullshit cases that they don't get to do the real ones.
I tell you what, thanks to Elon Musk, there's going to be some shit going on with the FBI. He's now proved that the FBI has interfered in 2 elections. Well, first off, he didn't have to prove the Russian collusion. We now know for a fact the Russians the FBI completely lied to the FISA courts and to the American public and to every news media got up there and lied. And Trump still won. That's what's so crazy. But they tried to rig that election. And then here we go in this election, and they're trying to do it again. They're telling everybody, oh, you can't put the Hunter Biden stuff out. You can't do this. You know what, guys? If the Hunter Biden stuff would have came out with him giving his daddy money, Trump would be our president right now. And that's the bottom line. So they fixed this election. So why, we're all wanting to put Trump away. Why do you think the Democrats are so desperate to get Trump out of the way? Trump, first off, the whole Russian thing, he gets to sue every Democrat, the DNC, and every news organization that used this. Yes, he's a big threat. Yeah. I mean, you can't just talk about people like that all the time without any evidence, and they know now they lie. And I heard NBC say the other, well, we didn't know. Bullshit. You knew. Yeah, I heard Adam Schiff told you.
Somebody knows over there.
Adam Schiff definitely knew. So he needs to be taken out himself. It's just, we can't keep allowing this kind of behavior to go on in our country. I mean, 2 times now with the FBI, and look, usually I'm proud of the FBI. They're my favorite department, and all of a sudden you can't trust them to do anything. You know what? And I don't want to put this
interior country.
Yeah, I don't want to put this
outside the country, and neither one of them are trustworthy at this point.
But I don't want to put this on the agents of the FBI. I doubt they're all like this. This is leadership of the FBI. The top 10, 15 people. They're the ones you can't trust. So what's been going on is they were just jacking and putting one party in there. Comey should be in jail. He should be in jail. I mean, Hillary should be in jail. Hillary definitely should be in jail. Comey should be in jail. I mean, some of the stuff they did is beyond belief. They lied to the FISA court. That's like one of the big, the FISA court's a secret court, ladies and gentlemen. You know that, right? We don't get to know who the judges are. If I was a judge of the FISA court, if I was a judge of the FISA court, I would be trying to get somebody put in jail. I would already came out and said, okay, I'm giving up my term because these people all need to go to jail. And you mean what's his name's the investigation? What's his name? Durham's been doing. Yeah, he's lost. He's got like 10 cases to take to trial. He's lost the first 2. You don't want to know why? Because they're in DC courts. He's never going to win in a DC court because it's a rigged court. Almost everybody in DC is Democrats, and all the judges are for sure. They don't have a chance. Even he said that. He said it from day one. I just don't have a chance of winning this in a Democratic court. Because they're covering their own asses.
Yeah, and they say there's no corruption in government.
The worst part about this is you Democrats are allowing this to go on. You're completely at fault for this. These are your people doing this.
And Elon Musk, Democrats they helped him get that power. Absolutely.
For every libtard out there who said Twitter wasn't doing nothing, Elon Musk just proved you were either completely stupid or a liar, whichever one you want to choose. He just proved to you that, yes, they were doing this, and so was Facebook, and so was Instagram. This is a big deal, people. These social medias were trying to change elections. I don't think y'all understand. Trying to interfere with an election is a big-time crime in the United States. I mean, it's way up there. I mean, this carries like 20, 25 years. And yet we're just sitting here with our fingers up our asses. The Republicans aren't going to let it go. And y'all, I hate to tell you this, But if DeSantis runs, DeSantis is going to be your next president, and the Republicans are going to keep the House and maybe even take the Senate.
Yeah.
So I'd be getting worried if I was y'all, because in
Well,
the end, you have been stealing. I mean, it's just been sad. And Republicans were like that back in the day, but somehow the two parties switched roles.
yeah.
It's kind of scary.
And here's something about Facebook that many of the listeners may not know is now I don't really use Twitter at all. I mean, I got it, but I don't use it. But
tweet me, baby, tweet me. Sorry.
I use Facebook kind of frequently to stay in touch with friends and family across the country. And a good deal of my friends are like Joe and Jeff, who does the Church of Mavis. So they're UFO and paranormal researchers. And as far as my friends that aren't UFO researchers, they don't get banned. They can say whatever they want. They don't get banned. But all of my friends who are researchers, paranormal and otherwise, even big names like Nick Redfern and guys like that, these guys are getting banned for saying things that are true, and these guys do their research. They're not dummies. They're not just the armchair type of researcher that just says things out of the blue and they expect people to believe it. But they get banned for 20 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And this country is a place where you're supposed to have freedom of speech as long as what you say does not invoke people to cause harm or cause violence. And these platforms are based on our Constitution, yet they don't let you say what they want you to say. So like the perfect example, when we talk about certain things, I won't say what, but if we talk about a certain government agency here on the show, we get kicked off of YouTube. That is an absolute denial of our right to free speech.
It is. Yes, actually, Darren, I did see it. It's I had it. Hold on, give me a second. It is Paul Whelan, Whelan. He's been in 4 years, and it starts off. The Reuters article starts off today. Talks are free, and former U.S. Marine Paul from prison Russians continue, even though Joe Biden completely ignores the wife. Even after they release Brittany, he keeps ignoring him.
He ignores the Marine's wife.
Yeah, he won't talk to her. So let's get this straight, guys and girls. The liberals love haters. It's like what was his name, Kaepernick. Liberals loved him. He's the greatest thing. He hates America. Why would you love anybody who hates America? Look, it's got its pits and falls, but you better look around the world, you dumbasses. It's far better than the rest of the world. I hear somebody the other day, oh, that's better place. Where? Well, then move. Because let me tell you what, there ain't many places better than the United States. There ain't many places that are going to treat you like the way, because Europe has different laws. They're not as easy going as we are. Mm-hmm. As far as the rest of the world, shit, Brittany would never be out of jail. Actually, because she was gay, she'd probably been executed in half the world. Oh, yeah, people. I know y'all always want to talk, oh, gay, this, gay, that. Still remember, 160 countries are anti-gay. Yeah, the only ones that are not is America and the Europeans, and that's about it.
And think about
no, Russia, China, big time anti-gay. What are you? How do you put I can't say their names, but the pink, what's in jail several times for protesting about being gay. They're anti-gay, and they're not going to change. No, India is not pro-gay. They're anti-gay too.
India is way hard against.
So gay. Out of the 8 billion people on this planet, at least 7.5 billion are anti-gay. So just keep that in mind when you're traveling around the world. My nephew, who is gay, who just passed away a couple of months ago, he would have told you himself, and he was a billionaire. He would have told you yourself, stay in Europe. Don't go to the Middle East. Especially don't be holding your hands with your boyfriend in the Middle East. Even if you think the Persians are okay about it or not, they're not in public. They're not. Don't go to Africa. Don't go to South America. Maybe Rio, you might get away with it, but the rest of South America, no. Yeah, well, Canada don't care about anything. They're losing their rights. By the way, several of the hosts on this network are Canadian, and they're all up in arms because they're going to start monitoring their Facebook and all the rest of them, and they're going to cut them down to a lot of stuff they can't say and talk about anymore. I don't know how they're going to monitor them on these shows, because if they screw up my show, I'm going to sue the crap out of Pink Shorts. I'm not scared of his ass. I could care less about his little pink shirt ass. We Americans. He better not even screw with any of us. We're not like the Canadians who might go spank him on the ass. We'll go up there and knock his ass through the dirt. Joe Biden, I don't think Joe Biden likes him either. Trump definitely didn't like him. And last time I seen Joe Biden, look at him. Joe Biden was kind of like, stay away from me, Pink Shorts. Something about you smell funny or something.
Well, that's because he's a guy. Yeah, Biden isn't a guy, dude. He likes
Mm,
girls, young ones at
Biden.
that.
Oh, while we're on that, so I'm gonna go try to find this in a few minutes. There's a picture circulating around of Jill Biden sitting on Joe Biden's lap when she was the babysitter of the family, and she was 15. So this is
Wow.
yeah. So they're saying that they were doing it at 15. Now, as far as I know, that I couldn't find any proof. I looked and looked and looked and looked. Whether it's her or not,
At this
sitting on
point,
his
that's
lap,
well hidden.
yeah, sitting on his lap is not illegal. Now, a grown man letting a little 15-year-old girl sit on his lap, babysitter especially, that's
It's gray area, but
yeah, it's very gray, but it's not
it's
enough to
still
put you
kind of
in jail.
sketchy.
And but now they're married. Maybe she got the goods on his ass. I don't know. No, there's a legit picture. Well, first they were trying to figure out if it was her, and I forgot somebody ran some software and figured out it was her. But again, the reason I brought up is I seen somebody on my messenger talking about it, but it doesn't prove that's true. I mean, it does show a pattern through him, though, through his life, the way he, touching on people. Oh no, those pictures when the White House for when he was a senator, and then when he's no, he'd touch my daughter like that, I'd have had a problem. Yeah, I'd be in jail right now. I would. Oh God, no, I'd have had a problem with that. He's just weird, and maybe he's not. Maybe he's innocent, and don't know better. But I doubt that. He's what, almost 80 years old.
It's a
I'm not
strange
doubting that.
pattern, though. I mean, it really, really. I mean, he sniffs their hair, he sniffs their hands, he sniffs babies. I'm not going to evoke the guy from Sam Neill from Jurassic Park. Babies stink, but he's down there sniffing babies. I mean, yeah, it's weird. It's just it's a fetish that is. I don't even think it's in any of the fetishes on the list of fetishes.
What do you mean? Am I anti Joe Biden? Oh yeah, I'm anti Joe Biden. I don't like him
Yeah,
even a
same
little bit.
here.
And I couldn't understand why any black people would ever voted for him. He put more blacks in jail when he changed those laws than anybody in history of politics. Oh my God, him and his cohorts, Kamala Harris in California, she was putting them in jail like they were just fish and chips, man. Oh yeah, just throw another one in there, throw another one in there. And yet, people don't take the time to research candidates anymore. I think that's part of the problem. Because if you go look at these two, you'd never put them in office ever. And if you're willing to put them in office after you looked at them, there's something wrong with you. And it's not like the Democrats don't have better. It's like Trump. Yeah, somehow Trump beat out 18 people in the Republican Party. Some of them pretty good. And my pick originally when I was hosting News on the Flip Side was going to be Jeb Bush, but Jeb didn't even look like he was even going to finish. Trump just came in there. But part of it was the news media. Every time you turned on the TV, Trump, 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 Trump. It got to the point it didn't matter if it was good or bad. It was just Trump, 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 Trump. That's all you heard. And he won in big votes. And he pulled a large portion of the black population, Hispanic. In this second race, he set records for the largest amount of people ever voted for a Republican, the largest amount of blacks and Hispanics to vote for a Republican. I mean, he was pulling numbers all over the place, but yet somehow Joe Biden still beat him by 6 million votes.
Yeah.
You got to question that. You really have to question that. It's because the black and Hispanic vote were down for the Democrats. So where did the extra votes come from?
It's the pure volume of talk about him, though. I mean, even now the Democrats they're all talking bad about him. We want to Jan 6 this and Jan 6 that and get him arrested for this, that, and the other thing. The more they talk about him, the more publicity they're giving to him and giving him votes.
Yes.
They're shooting themselves in the foot.
Carol, I am a little worried about Elon Musk because he's taking on the FBI, he's taking on the Senate, he's taking on the president. Now, I got to say, if something mysteriously happens to Elon, the country might flip out because it's not just Republicans. The Democrats like Elon, too. They're not happy with his little new thing, but they knew Twitter was no shit themselves. They can't. Most liberals cannot tell you that, oh, we didn't know Twitter was like that. That's bullshit. That's an outright lie. They know it was. They know what Twitter was, and they were enjoying it just because they could say anything they wanted. And if a Republican torched them back, oh, it was hate speech, and off they went. Oh, I watched several of my liberal friends say things, and then somebody would come back on it, and they would toss them off. And and it was just, it was just funny. I mean, sadly funny, but we had 100,000 accounts over there that they dropped for spamming, which was archives. I don't know. We might be able to get him back. Elon Musk torches Adam Schiff false claims about hate speech on Twitter. Ooh, Elon, what did you do now, Elon? It's he's not going to take any crap. And being the richest man in the world, he don't have to take any crap. And he's got good lawyers. He's got good people around him. And if you want to go head to head with him, Adam Schiff, I think you might lose. I think you really might lose on your little, what is it, $400,000 a year salary. And even you might have a few $1,000,000 in the bank. He probably drops that as chump change for his guys to pick up. I'm telling you, dude, don't go against this guy. You're not going to win. Especially for all the stuff he does in the United States. Right now, he's helping our U.S. military out in ways you can't even think of, Mr. Schiff. So don't get him and the military on your ass. Schiff's such a liar, though. I mean, you've seen him go on NBC and CNN and CBS. Yeah, we got Trump. Oh, this stuff's coming out this week. Oh, well, I seen it, man. We got him. He lied. He said many, many times, I've seen it. We have the evidence. He lied and lied and lied and lied and lied. That's again, that's trying to turn the outcome of it. So you've got all of the Democratic press, which is NBC, CNN, ABC, and CBS. All of them were saying, "Oh, we have Trump." You had almost all the major people: Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, a couple of other big ones in the Democratic Party. All of them saying the same thing: we got him, the evidence is out, he's done, he's over with, and bam. All of a sudden, we found out 4 years later, 5 years later, it was a complete lie. So every one of them should be in jail. That's affecting the outcome of an election. I want to know why the DOJ, who is a Democrat, hasn't gone up and see, and he should be in jail. If he don't go after them for this, he should be in jail.
Is he a Democrat?
Yeah, he's a Democrat. You know,
there's your answer right there. That's why he's not going.
So they sent all these referrals over from the Jan 6 thing, but you know it's funny. If they had something, they would have made it public. So they probably left it alone. And if the DOJ goes after Trump during an election year, during election time, it's going to be a bad scene all the way around. You mean who am I voting for? Who is that? Drusilla? I'm voting for, if DeSantis gets in, I'm voting for DeSantis. I like him. So here's one for y'all.
If he goes in, I'll vote for him. Yeah, the problem with DeSantis, though, is what, even though he's got some chops as was he state governor, how good is he going to do? I mean, we talked about this during the election. Does he have the chops to do presidency? Does he need to start? He runs
the what is it? The third largest state in the union. He's got an 86% approval rate in his state. He carried the Democrats in his state. That tells you something right there.
That doesn't mean he's got the chops for presidency. It's a presidency.
Running Florida least prepared. Running Florida. This is how you look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Running New York, not as much anymore, but in old days, running New York would have counted. New York, Florida, Texas, and California. If you run in one of them states, you're probably going to have the skills to run the country because
they're fairly large states.
Yeah, they're very large states with big problems. Look at California. Ronald Reagan did an excellent job in California. He came in and took over the presidency. Was a very beloved president. Did a good job. I wouldn't say excellent job. He did a good job. He just spend money.
Good job.
He did. He did a good job, and he left it where Clinton could actually clean up some money issues. He brought some revenue streams in that Clinton wasn't expecting, and Clinton even said it. He went on television and said it. Well, if it wouldn't have been for this, it would have been a lot harder to fix this up. So he wasn't even. But that's the old days. That's when you got. Just when you got here.
40 years ago.
Yeah, that's when the Democrats and Republicans still liked each other. I don't know what this new we have to hate each other thing is about. I know it started under Obama, but I don't know why. And I don't know why the Democrats can't get off of it. Republicans don't even seem to want to mess with it. They just want to go away. But the liberals today are you're just haters. I mean, everything it is. I mean, you just hate. You can't help yourself. Oh, let's kick out this company. Let's kick out. You better hope the Republicans don't start that because there's a lot of them. And there's as many of them as many of you, and that can hurt businesses just as well as you can hurt them. So I don't know why you want to do hate this, hate that, hate that. And I notice anytime pedophiles. Yeah, by far there's more pedophiles in the Democrat Party than Republicans. I hate to say it, guys, but y'all have been busted for pedophilia more times than I can count. And then you got Balenciaga and you got Epstein with all these. Oh no!
Well, we know Clinton days. The Senate pages, and most of that was all Democrats.
Yeah. So I don't know, people. Most of these who follow the Democrats, I'm sorry to say, well, I'm not a Republican. I'm a centrist. You see the name of the show? No, I am. Okay. Here we go. We start with Ronald Reagan. I voted both times for Ronald Reagan. I'm not going to say this. I didn't vote for Daddy Trump. Daddy Trump scared me for some reason.
Okay. You mean Daddy Bush?
Yeah, Daddy Bush. I'm sorry, Daddy Bush. Sorry about that, people. Sorry about that. So here comes Clinton. I voted for Clinton both terms. I liked Clinton. I thought he was a good, strong president. I liked him. Okay, here comes Baby Bush. Okay, I voted for Baby Bush first time, second time was not happening. It just was not happening. I wanted to take my vote back from the first vote, but they wouldn't let me. Okay, and then here comes Barack Hussein Obama. I voted for him first term. I did not vote for the second term because he reminded me of Jeb Bush. He was a moron idiot that should not be a president.
Which I said the whole time, the first election, he's not qualified for the job.
He just wasn't. I mean, he was a junior senator for 6 months. He had no political experience. He had no business being president. That's on you, libtards. That's on you. You screwed the country up for 8 years because what? You just wanted the power. You didn't care about us.
He was a great senator. He spent 2 months, 6 months, 8 months as a
senator. 6 months and didn't get the vote. Not once.
Yeah. And they also said, oh, he's a great lawyer. Well, if he's a great lawyer, why was he asked by
his wife was a good lawyer. He wasn't even a lawyer. He was a political. What do they call him? He was a community organizer, is what he was.
Right, but both Barack and his wife Michelle were both asked, rather pressured by the Chicago Illinois Bar Association to give up their licenses, or they would be taken to a court for ethics violations. And they gave up they cannot practice law in any state in the union. And then everyone says, "Oh, they're great lawyers, they're great senators, they're great." He was none of those things.
No, nothing. And it wasn't about. Could he run the country? It was about we needed the power. That's when you went wrong, libtards. You just got greedy for power, and ever since, then, the country's just teetering because you won't stop. It's not the power. You need to start thinking about the people and not the power. Sometimes you don't have the people to run. I mean, look at some of your politicians. Go back and look at some of the people in your party. Nancy Pelosi, really? Chuck Schumer? They're two of the biggest liars I've ever seen. I mean, they're constantly, and I mean, if you don't believe me, I can quote 100 different lies for both of them. Hell, just on Trump, I can quote that. And there's lots of other stuff they've lied about. And then it's like Nancy's husband. Okay, if this was any other story, we would know everything that happened. But because it's Paul Pelosi, NBC pulled the story that they had that there was a naked man in the house with him. So it sounded.
Wait a minute. The last time we heard the story, it was two men in their boxers.
Yes, but they were now saying one guy was naked. He got mad, and it was his boyfriend. And the glass was not broke from the outside in. The glass was broken from the inside out.
Yeah.
So somebody had a fit, and there was a woman present. I don't know what was going on. I don't know. Y'all can type all night long. I have no idea what was going on in there. It does sound like it might have been a little gay flingy.
This is what happened is the two boyfriends had a bit of a fight. They made a mess. They called the maid to come over and clean up. And by the time she got there, the police showed up. End of story.
End of story. Yeah, well, Pelosi don't want her husband know. Look, I'm not saying. It's just all of a sudden NBC pulled the story. Yep.
Yeah.
And nobody got to see that story again. Oh, there's lots of stories since.
Pulled off the internet. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, they pulled that original story, and anything that related to it had to be pulled. I mean, it was that or get sued. And there's a bunch of powerful people.
What happened to free speech in this country?
There's a bunch of powerful people. So, well, the liberals want to take free speech away from you. What do you think all this stuff was with Facebook and Twitter and all this? This was taking free speech away. The only people that got to speak was them, not you. There was no rebuttal to their bullshit. If you rebutted their bullshit, you got kicked off. Okay,
especially if you said the truth and there's facts to back you up, yes. You will get pulled off of there for, like you said, 30, 60, 90 days, whatever the violation is.
Now, what's his face is in trouble with the COVID stuff because now they know he was lying, and we also know that he changed his mind several different times from mask and no mask to mask and no mask, all kind of other things. So the other day, this came out. More people with the COVID shot have died than the people without now. That's a fact. So I don't even know how you get around that.
Here's another fact, and I can't say this across the country, but I have several friends who are vaccinated. They have updates. They have the boosters and yada, yada. They've gotten COVID more than once.
I have too. I've got all three shots. And
if it works, why get the boosters and the updates? If it works, they've gotten it 2 and 3 times. My roommate's gotten it twice. His mom's gotten it 3 times.
I've got it 3 times. I got it the original one, which like they killed us. That was horrible, whatever that was. And then I got a lesser version. And then when I was in Los Angeles for Riders of the Future, I got it again. Now, each of those times were basically felt more like colds than COVID, but it was COVID because I went and got
Because your
tested
body
for it.
was already making natural antibodies. They
So,
weren't fake ones.
but this is going to go on and on and on and on and on. And so that was really that came later. But under Obama was where the hate started for the liberals. That's where we started to remember all the riots they were. There was just tons of riots, tons of killing. So here y'all go, people. If somebody asked me how can we get rid of gun violence in the United States, this is easy.
Can't.
Okay, no, this is actually easy. Just kick the Democrats out of party. That's all you got to do. Because first off,
you're still going to have the crazies who get a hold of
no,
mama's gun collection.
but that's the way the cities are run. Because red cities don't have this kind of violence. Only blue cities do. This is not something that goes on in red cities. So Baton Rouge and New Orleans are the same size cities. Okay, both in Louisiana. Baton Rouge is red run. New Orleans is blue run. New Orleans is the murder capital of the United States. Baton Rouge has almost no murders. It's just in the way the cities are running and the way they take care of people. If you go through the United States, every blue city in this country has an ungodly murder rate. So if you go to like Dallas and Texas, different parts, big cities and towns, if you go like Houston's out of just blows Dallas and Fort Worth out of control. One's got a red, blue, one's got red. And it's worse than that though. It's much worse than that. So Ronald Reagan, mass shootings, zero. Oh shit, I know, zero. Bill Clinton, well, I can't remember what they said about Daddy Bush, but I think there was one. Bill Clinton, I think there was him and Jeb Bush. I mean, him and Baby Bush were both around 8. Okay, so then Barack Hussein Obama, 128. Donald Trump, 0. Joe Biden's already up to 30. It shows you the difference in the way the country feels safer when there's a red. And it's not just that. When you do overseas stuff and where we feel safer, as a nation, we feel safer when there's a red president than a blue president, and it shows. We already know. Even Putin said this. Putin said if Donald Trump was still president, I would not have invaded the Ukraine because he was scared that Trump would have just sent in tanks. You've seen what happened with North Korea. Trump said, if you don't knock it off, I'm going to send a submarine over there and wipe you out. Boom, there was no more launches. There was no more launches until he was sure that Trump was getting in. Because, there might have been a few things that made it. And then all of a sudden, the launch. If Trump was president, it wouldn't be going on. There's a difference in the way they conduct themselves and the way they present themselves around the world. Joe Biden is a weak president. And he's allowing our enemies and people, even our allies, feel nervous, and our enemies feel jumpy. They can feel like they can do what they want.
I got some numbers here, Joe. I'd like to talk about real quick, just to give the listeners an idea of how the country votes. Now they just finished the redraw elections in Georgia, so the numbers have changed a little. And I still have my maps up from the election last month, and the numbers are astounding. It's amazing that there's even a Democratic president. So I'll start at the governor level. Governor results: 36 states were involved in this election. 18 voted red, 18 voted blue. So it's a straight draw across the board, and that's at the state level, which is state governor, state control. House results, which is more by county by county. There's, I don't know how many. Each state has so many reps to represent so many counties. All 50 states were involved in this prior election. Blue went 8. All right, blue states 8. 42 red. That's overwhelming. That's 90. That's over 90%. That means there should be in my opinion, a Republican president. Now back to the stateside level again with the senators. 34 states involved in this election. 19 red, 15 blue. So there's a clear disconnect in some of the state levels. But if you look at the maps, I didn't go down to the county levels, but anyone who's out there can go to Google, type in 2022 election results, and you can put up all 3 maps: Senate, Governor, House, and look at the map. And then if you click on a state, it'll zoom in and it'll show you how each county voted. It's nearly red all the way across the board, yet there's a Democratic president. So where's the disconnect? Why is so much of the country red, yet only these small little areas of blue are able to overwhelm all that red and put
Well,
in the Democratic.
and that's exactly why we have the electoral vote system, because places like New York and California are vastly have bigger numbers. I mean, the Upper East Coast is, I think, 60 million people, and then you've got another 40 out in California. That's 100 million. That really changes the
One
layout
fourth of
of
the
the
country, yeah.
yeah. So that really changes the layout, but that's changing because, in case y'all didn't notice, ladies and gentlemen, New York lost the House. They're red now. They did win the governorship barely, but they lost the House up there. So it's a different change in state now, my friends. Well, we knew that when we seen Trump get 45% of New York, and then this governor guy got 47.5%. That's damn close. So it tells you right there, New Yorkers are not happy, but Democrats don't care. I mean, they let that chick rerun. That chick is a moron. Why would you want her to be your governor or anything? I wouldn't let her govern my backyard. I mean, I don't understand you liberals sometimes. I mean, stupid politicians are stupid politicians. Oh, I didn't even see you over there, Amelia. How you doing, sweetie? I just seen her text there. I must have had the thing closed. I don't know. You missed when we were talking about your boyfriend, Pink Shorts, though. We had a good conversation about Pink Shorts and how we love him and stuff, and how he's going to be Canada's dictator and stuff like that. I don't know, but all I know is in our country, the numbers can't prove it out. If you look at the blue states versus the red states,
I mean, staring at these maps, I'm like, it's red across almost everywhere, and it's these small pockets of blue around the big cities overwhelm the rest of the country. It's in my opinion, it's unfair, but that also may come down to votership. I mean, the more people vote, there may be, if all people in the United States voted, what would happen?
It'd be interesting to see.
It would be very interesting to see.
It would be interesting to see. And that's another problem, getting people out to vote. I mean, we've been seeing better voting things. What do you mean? No, I think Warwick beat Herschel fair and square. Actually, I like Herschel, but I hate to say it. Warwick was a better candidate. He was a better candidate. Look, you can't vote based on color. That's like being racist.
Or athletic ability.
Yeah. You can't do that. You have to vote on the candidate who's going to do the best for us. We the people, not we the politician, not we the party, not we the anything, just we the people. If you're not voting for what's going to do best for us, then you're already screwed. And I noticed a lot of you, I could tell by a couple of races, especially the one in Pennsylvania, you weren't voting by you were voting by your party's color. You weren't voting by anything else. That was sure. But yes, Janine, I've said it 100 times. I didn't like. You know what? You're right. I wouldn't have voted for either one of them. So I guess I can't bitch because my rule is if you don't vote, you can't bitch.
There was a third candidate for Senate, and it was a libertarian.
Oh, I probably voted for him then. So, well, I couldn't vote for Lurch. I mean, it's Lurch, people. Come on.
He's a thug. He's a straight out thug.
And then there was something
he's got tattoos on his neck. Who wants to vote for? I mean, you get tattoos on your neck where? In prison.
And the other one, I couldn't vote for Oz because he just reminded me of one of them late night TV salesmen who buy this. Oh, look, this miracle drug. I couldn't get past that. It's not that I dislike Oz. It's just he reminds me. And then I really don't want him running my state anyway. So
he's kind of a sideshow, gin and tonic elixir salesman.
It was one of them things.
Days.
What do you mean I'm being mean about Brittany? No, the bitch should be in jail. The Marine should be out and she should be in jail.
If we did a swap, should be in jail.
And let's be honest, if we're going to trade a arms dealer, it definitely should have been for the Marine. I mean, Brittany's not going to do anything.
For athlete who hates the country.
She hates America, baby. She said it. Maybe she won't now, but she said she hated this country. So personally, I don't see any reason she should be back. I liked, bring the Marine back. He's got family and stuff. I mean, he's going to help change the world. This bitch is. What's she going to do when we go to war with Russia? She's going to go hide under her mama's ass.
Well, let's look at the facts. Here are the facts. She was caught doing something stupid, bringing drugs into a country that's dead set hard against drugs. He was captured, I guess, in Ukraine, helping the Ukrainians fight against the Russians. He's trying to help people. She's trying to, I don't know what. But
she was arrogant. That's what got her in trouble. She was arrogant. She thought because she had played basketball in the Olympics, she could do anything she wanted, go anywhere she wanted. She was. You know what happened? I'll tell you exactly what happened. This is what I preach. I even preach this to my own host. You should never, ever believe your own press. When you start believing your own press, you're screwed. Retire, sit down, take a vacation. But that's what happened. She believed her own press. She was untouchable. Oh, I can. And she was smuggling. It's not like she brought, and this is what was so funny.
It wasn't personal use from what you were saying.
Yeah, it's not like she only brought 3 or 4. She brought like a suitcase full. I guess she planned on being in Russia for a while and they weren't going to have any. Come on. I mean, did you not? I got to be honest. When I'm traveling, I look at the state laws, the country's laws. When you're traveling across this country, like if you're a marijuana smoker and you live in Louisiana, you can get a prescription. And then when you get out to New Mexico and Arizona, they have medical too. And Colorado, of course, has, just have a fun time. But Texas does not. And if your ass gets caught in Texas with like a quarter pound of weed, you're going to jail. Oh,
even
yeah,
with
my
a
friend.
Prescription, which they
even
don't
with
have.
Prescription, you going to jail. And there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts, you going to jail. Now, if it's a little amount, maybe a quarter, an ounce or something, they're going to take it from you and write your tickets probably cost you a couple $100.
They won't take it. They'll make you dump it.
Yeah, they do. That is true. That is their favorite thing to do. You dump it and squish it down in the ground. I've seen it several times.
Throw it out here and I'll let you go. Otherwise, you're going to jail.
they just. Actually, there's several places in like Wichita, Texas, where you see the signs up there. Need a lawyer? You got caught with pot. Need a lawyer? It's like every billboard. So it tells you right there you should not be driving through that state with marijuana. It's yes, you can be a good driver. It doesn't mean you're not going to get caught though. It's a dangerous thing to do.
Yeah, but tail laid out.
You mean out in the West now? No, because Vegas has marijuana recreational now, and so does California. And I'm pretty sure
July 23rd, July 2023.
So what is Oregon and Washington got? I don't. I've never really looked to see. Is it legal out there, people? I know it's legal in BC.
I think Oregon was this election. They just went legal recreational. I believe so. There's 3 states this last election. Maryland was one. I think Oregon was another, and I can't remember the third one.
Maryland's cool. They let you have guns and pot. All right.
No, they don't. It's trying to purchase guns in Maryland. A long gun, shotgun, rifle. You can walk out the store that day with it. Handgun, you're looking at 180-day wait period. You have to take a video class and pass a practical test.
That's for you idiots.
But a written test. And to get a permit to carry takes an act of Congress. If you want to carry concealed, you have to have been physically attacked by somebody with a gun and have that police report and or the number to that police report in order to secure a concealed carry. So Maryland is not real gun friendly.
Well, I'll tell you how to get around all but the concealed thing. If you're ex-military and you carried a gun in the military, they can't refuse you. It's illegal in this nation. So Congress will actually tear their asses up about it. Yeah. But that's if you were military and carried a gun. Remember, not all military people carried a gun. And they will ask you to prove it. I carried a gun, so therefore it was no big one. I still remember when I went to go get my concealed permit. He's like, "You're ex-military? What did you do?" And I said, "Oh, I did a little stuff with the SPs." She said, "Shit, here you go." No course. I didn't have to take any course or anything because I was trained in the military. So their course they give me is not going to train me as much as what I've already got. But that's not everybody, people. A lot of people down here in Louisiana, you do have to take. Mississippi, you don't. You can carry open or concealed, no permit, no nothing.
And constitutional carry. Yeah. There are some states that are pretty easy. Georgia, I got my concealed carry permit, and it was like a total of $70. $75 is $50 to the county sheriff, $25 to the it might have been the state police to get my fingerprints taken and a background check put against me. And in about like a week, I had a concealed carry permit that lasted, I think, 4 years, maybe 5. But the caveat to that is, and you might want to check it in your state. Some states require you to take an actual practical test where you have to shoot your weapon that you're going to carry and score an 80 or better. And my license in Georgia, on the back of it, said in no uncertain terms, if I am witness to a felony in progress, if I have my gun on me, I am obligated by that license to unsheath my weapon and get involved, period.
That's how it is in Louisiana, too.
I'm a deputized lawman at that point, basically.
Yeah, I remember because, it's funny. Well, I had to get a concealed carry in Louisiana because every now and then I forget. And if I'm like at work and I've got a long, just like a T-shirt on, I'll throw it over the top of it. So this was funny. I'm in Lowe's one day and I had my gun on me. And a cop come up and said, "You got a permit for the concealed weapon?" I said, "It's not concealed." He said, "Yes, it is." I said, "No, you can see the bottom piece of the gun right there." And he said, "Son of a bitch, you can't you?" I said, "Yes." I said, "For it to be concealed, it has to be completely covered to be concealed."
Unseen, right.
So in that case, I wasn't. And I have a big gun too. Martha's big; she don't play around. And no, she's like, well, I got a target pistol because in the military, I learned how to shoot. Well, long before I got in the military, because come on, people, I was raised in a bayou.
Yeah.
For what my 10-year-old present was a 410.
Was
My
it
12-year-old present
it
was
was
a double gauge 12 gauge. And I got a 9 millimeter. I'm sorry, I got a 380 when I was 11. Then I got a 9 millimeter when I was 14.
yeah,
I
380
mean,
is not millimeter light.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I got 380 from my wife. I got two of them actually. We'll keep one in the bedroom for and one in the back seat of the car. And oh no, people, she can shoot a shotgun. Oh hell yeah, she grew up in the bayou too. She knows how to shoot a shotgun. She had no qualm shooting your ass if you came up my house too. Just boom, boom, you're dead.
Boom, boom with a scattergun. You need one shot, not two.
Yeah, the cop told her, make sure he falls this way though, not that
Yeah,
way.
making sure he falls in the house.
Or let him get through the door, then shoot his ass. I was laughing. He was serious too. I was laughing, but you know what? In all fairness, 90% of the time when I'm wearing my gun, most cops ask me if they can see it because it's cool looking.
Yeah.
It is a target pistol. It's made for rapid fire, unless you got the 110s in it, then it wants a jam. But if you got the 127s or 145s, it shoots like a bitch. It's fast. It's light, and the way it's designed, it's nose heavy, so when you're target pressing and you're holding it, it comes up and hits the target for you. You don't have to self adjust your wrist. It's really nice. I watched a guy win the championship 3 times with it. So I got friends out there spending $2,000-$3,000 modifying their Glocks. He took it out of the box. I think it was $800 out of the box and won 5 tournaments within a week with the damn thing. And the guy's like, "What are you doing?" It's not my. He said, "No, it's not modified." And you can modify it if you want, but it comes with a 5-pound or a 3-pound trigger. Mine's got the 3-pound trigger on it, so don't play around. And these things, none of these guns, new pistols, have safeties on. In case y'all didn't know that, unless you've got a hammer safety, none of these come with safeties. Everybody says, "Oh, it's got the little trigger lock." Bullshit. That thing is not a safety. You can say whatever you want. The trigger lock's bullshit.
Even safeties aren't safeties. You pull a trigger hard enough with the safety on, you pull it hard and long enough, it will fire off. They're not
you want to know what my safety is, people? I don't keep it around in the chamber. Unless I happen to be out somewhere or somewhere where I might have to shoot somebody, I don't keep it chambered. I remember a cop, he pulled us over for something. He said, "Can I see it?" And he took it. He had to go look at it. I remember he's carrying a gun like this is so stupid. So he comes back. We're talking. He said, "Why didn't you get around chambered?" I said, "Because I no telling what could happen. It could fall." And has fell on my car twice. Could have shot my own damn self. And he said, "Well, it doesn't do you no good." I said, "Trust me, I can chamber around that really fast." And then I showed him in my car. It's a little block like this, and the gun sticks to it. And you just when you go to pull it out, so it'll chamber for you. It's badass.
I got a quick cool story for you too. I already had my concealed carry permit, but I'm sorry, no, it did not have my concealed carry permit yet. But I had just purchased a Camaro from my brother up here in Virginia, and I was driving back to Savannah, and of course I brought one of my pistols with me. And in Georgia, it's open carry, so the gun can be loaded, but it has to be on the seat in plain sight. So if you get pulled over, the officer can see it.
Yeah.
And then you also need to declare it. So
you better declare. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, you better, or you're going to get your ass shot. But I was like, I don't know, 2-3 miles from my apartment, and I got pulled over it's like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. It's like I'm doing like 10, 11 miles over the posted speed limit because I was tired. I was in a Camaro. I wanted to get the hell home, drink a beer and then pass out. But this county police officer pulled me over. And I keep my hands on the steering wheel way up high, lights on. And as soon as he gets up to me where the window's down, I was like, "Hey, officer, I got to tell you, I've got a gun over there. What do you want me to do?" And he's like, "Left hand, thumb and finger only, hand it to me." So I do. And he looks at it, and I see it in his eyes. He's like, "Oh, God." He thought it was a 1911 45 caliber,
which is a common gun.
It's not. It was a 9mm Smithfield or Smith. The guys up in Boston, up in Massachusetts, they made the original 1911s. It's chambered in 9mm, and I'm thinking he's going to come back. He's going to yell at me for having a silver-plated sissy gun, and give me a ticket for like $90 for doing 10 over the speed limit. He comes back. He hands me my gun, clip, extra bullet, and he says, "Get on home. Nice gun." And he liked my gun and gave me a pass on the $90 speeding ticket.
They're funny like that because people who actually own guns and are responsible with guns they're different. You know, from time. Hey, Michael, it's like I was in the Shell station a couple of days ago. I had it because I don't always wear it. I do sometimes. Sometimes I'm wearing it the other day. I get out the car and it's big. So he asked me, it's a 9 millimeter. I said, no, I mean, he asked me if it was a 45. I said, no, it's a 9. I said, when I bought it, though, I thought it was a 45. Then I found out later it was a 9. And I said, but because I own a 1911 45. Christopher, 1911 is just a model of a 45. It's the same one they used in
Springfield,
World War
1911.
II. I think it was World War II is when it was deployed, but
Came
they
out in
come in.
1911. That's the number. It
Yeah,
started in 1911. It actually went through World War One as well.
it's a very good gun. It doesn't jam. It's just a good gun. It's kind of heavy, they usually hold 9 to 11 is max. Oh no, my 9 millimeter basic clip is 20. The other clips are 34. Oh no, I'm playing people. I'm gonna shoot you if you mess with me. Just know it's coming.
My
Just know.
Beretta holds 16 altogether, and I only need one.
Yeah, it's well, so like my 380 has explosive hollow points. That way, if my wife hits something, they're dead. And well, in the old days, we used to put mercury in the cap and then put
Oh
wax
yeah,
over it,
it'll poison
and
your
that
ass.
way, yeah, and that way, if it shot you, you was going to kill you. But then they made that illegal to do that, so we don't do
Hmm.
that anymore. But
I've gotten my Beretta M9. I've got what they called cop killers back in the 90s. They're Ranger XXT SXT Black Talons. They are not illegal, but they will shred through bulletproof armor unless you have a steel or ceramic trimmer plate that it hits first.
yeah, they have some badass armor out there you can get. I mean, there's some badass bullets you can get out there too.
Yeah, that
You,
the FNP 5728 rounds, their armor piercers will actually go through trauma plates and steel plates because they have some kind of proprietary Teflon type coating on it, and it'll bore right through. The Teflon, it'll destroy it immediately, but a steel plate, it'll bore its way through in 2 or 3 shots. If it doesn't, the first 3, that fourth one will get through.
wait, Pete. Are you talking about the grainage of the powder or the grainage? Okay, when you heard me say 110 earlier, I wasn't talking
That's the
about the
bullet.
head. That was the actual grains of the dust. So it was 110, 127, and I think it was 147 or 120. Anyway, it's somewhere up in there.
For
That's
9
actually a
millimeters,
grain.
I think the max for 9 millimeters like 147. That's the grains of powder in it. But
That's a powder, yeah, and that's
and then
actually a
for
grain
the
of
head, it's
powder.
the 248,
Yeah.
the bullet.
So
Okay.
and you can adjust. You can get different size heads and stuff. Like same thing with rifles and stuff like that. It's the same exact way they do it. But people get confused one time when they hear you talking. They think you're talking. Usually the powder load is going to be lower until you get into big rifle rounds, and then it's going to switch around.
Well, there's also the gun people out the people out there that aren't gun people. There's some other rounds called plus P and plus P plus, and what that means is they put extra gunpowder in the cartridge than
Yeah.
normal. And if you put that in your gun, unless your gun specifically says it can handle plus P or plus P
Yeah. Be
plus,
careful. We'll blow
it
your
will
damn barrel.
explode your weapon and hurt you.
Yeah. So always checking that kind of stuff, and especially if you're loading your own rounds. I
Read
don't
the
load
barrel.
mine
The barrel
anymore.
will tell you what it can do.
Oh, you mean mine? Yeah, you can screw a silencer in mine. It comes with a place for it. The only
You
problem with
can
mine
use
is
the barrel.
it doesn't like you can't put an under laser on it. You have to put an over laser on it, which is a different type of laser. It's got a little sight on it. Oh, it's badass. But I don't need it. Honestly, unless it's I don't know 50 or 60 feet away, I don't really need a laser for it. No, I'm not gonna shoot anybody running away from me unless they stole something. Then I might shoot them in a calf or something like
Yeah,
that.
shoot them in the
Yeah,
butt so they
you
have
don't
a
have to kill.
distinct
Look,
wound.
look. You know, if it's a dangerous person being attacked, then yes, a cop would tell you should kill someone. But if someone's just stealing and running, no, you don't do that. Just shoot them in calf. Yeah, they'll lay out there. They won't bleed to death. They'll be crying like a little baby for a while, and then the ambulance will come take them away and go to jail. Remember, it doesn't matter what state you are, all 50 states and all our commonwealths, you do have the right to defend yourself. It doesn't matter if it's a knife, a car, a gun, whatever you use, you do have the right to defend yourself. There's just no way around that. The country's dangerous today. It really
Yeah,
is. But anyway, I know we got off of the topic. We
a little
should
bit of a
have.
tangent.
It's well, you know, every now and then we get off on these topics. Now, well, first we did talk about the Brittany Garner thing, and
Yeah,
Joe
top
Biden
of the hour.
won't talk to the Kennedy. I mean, the guy's wife. I don't know how many more years he's going to do. Joe Biden probably ain't going to get him out. He's a Marine. You think Joe Biden gives a shit about a Marine? Trump would have got him out and left Brittany there, but
I would have left Brittany there.
But
Sorry, you're a mediocre athlete at best. You've said some hateful things about the country, and you were caught doing something stupid, whereas this guy was caught trying to help people.
oh, you mean most mass shootings in the nation happened under Obama by far? Yeah, he rules that.
128.
Yeah, he rules that. And then well, you got to remember how they figure mass shootings. It doesn't have to. I think it's 3 people or more. Yeah, it's not like. So you got to watch that when you hear mass shooting, especially. Oh, I had a mass shooting today. Well, they killed 2 people, 3 people. To me, that's not a mass shooting. That's
That's not mass, yeah.
unfortunate. But
Unless it happened during church, and then
well, the reason some presidents don't get a lot of them is because they portray confidence, and the nation picks that up, and they feel that, and they work with it. And they're like, okay, I feel more confident now, and they don't worry as much. Unfortunately, Joe Biden makes me worry.
yeah.
And
Well,
I'm a big ugly guy, and he makes me worry. I can only wonder what he does to normal everyday people. I mean,
it
Lord
might
have
also
mercy.
give a lack of confidence or overconfidence in the criminal. Like the president gives people confidence, the criminal has less. If the president gives the people no confidence, the criminals have more. So
No, no,
it's a touch. It's it's a scale. It's a balancing thing.
no. Actually, Chris, I do think there were a couple of, under Trump. I can't remember which they were, but there wasn't a lot like they were under other presidents. No, for some reason, Democrats, for some reason, don't give people faith in our country. They get nervous, they get antsy, and then they keep letting the criminals out of jail. See, if you live in a
Yeah.
red state, that shit don't happen. Somebody goes to jail, they're in jail. You live in a blue state, they let the guy out in California. He killed somebody, posted bond, got out, went killed somebody else. So and then then the governor don't want them to sue because it was their fault. I'm like, you got to be freaking killing me, man.
Someone's at fault. Someone gets sued for it.
Well, most states with accidental shootings of children, Illinois. Chicago is the city, though. Oh, yeah. There have been several over the years of drive-by shootings where they're shooting somebody else and a bullet ricocheted. Like the one girl was sitting up in her bedroom reading her book, getting ready for school.
Came through the walls.
Yeah, killed her. It's hard to do. So now they're doing the big mass shootings. Here we go. This is 17 or more. So this is a better thing than because the other one gives them all like a bunch. So Lyndon Johnson had 1. Ronald Reagan had 3.
Is
George
that
Bush.
Is that over both administrations for Reagan?
That's the whole time he was there 3. So then he had.
It might have been one administration had 0.
Yeah, so George Bush only had 4. He was only in office 4 years, and then Bill Clinton had 8, and George had 8. Just to see, even under this one, they were both 17 or more. Barack Obama, if you leave out the ones that are 5 or less, he only had 24, and Donald Trump had 4. So as you go down, you can see.
The Democrats still win that one.
They win that one outright, and then if you go by city, oh my God, it's ridiculous with the crime rates. I don't live in. Why do you think I don't live in New Orleans anymore? Because New Orleans is, oh no, you better carry a gun in New Orleans. Especially, look, if you're a tourist and you come to the city, this is what I'm going to tell y'all. You're pretty safe in the quarter. You're safe around the river. That's it. That's a place, and you
the tourist areas you're safe, right?
Yeah, and you're safe in the town. Somebody might try to rob you, but then nobody's going to kill you. So I mean, you just need to stay in those areas unless you have a friend. Yeah, so you want to know the death tolls? Okay. And the Barack Obama wins it hands down, 236 dead, 257 injured.
From guns.
Yeah. So now for Trump, they tried to say 512 injured, but you know what they were trying to do? They were trying to do the Black Lives Matter stuff, and you notice they didn't do that under Obama. Yeah, it just shows you, this tells me right off the bat a liberal made this chart. Because there were far more injured under Obama with 4 years of Black Lives Matter going through cities than under Trump. Yeah, so no, Trump only had 83, Barack had 236. Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, yeah.
But
as far as violence goes, it doesn't matter really where you are. And I got another real quick story.
Bill Clinton
and I had a concealed carry permit. We had a hurricane. I don't remember which name of the hurricane it was, but we had to evacuate the entire city. So a friend and I, we drove out of the city about like 6 p.m. and we're stuck. We're sitting in traffic for a couple hours. I'm like, our cars are idling. They're warming up. I'm like, hey, get them on the cell phone. I'm like, look, let's just pull over. Let's let the cars cool down. Let's go up on this hill here and sit down, smoke some cigarettes, and just wait till the traffic begins to move. Then we'll go down and fold back in. So while we're up there, there's a field behind us and a fence. And we're on one side of the fence. The field's on the other side. And this truck comes up through these cornfields, turns right, and disappears. Then that same truck comes from a different direction. It must have gone all the way around the fields and comes back parallel to us. And the truck is now filled with teenagers, Georgia teenagers. And the driver, in a deep Georgia accent, goes, "Hey, y'all get screwed up by the hurricane." Now I have a big open button-down shirt concealing my handgun, and so I kind of pull it aside like a gunslinger, and I turn and kind of like a girl throw my hip at him and go, "We sure did." And he took off. If he had not seen, and this is also that 1911 silver-handled 1911 9mm. If he hadn't seen that truck of kids would have hopped that fence and beaten the living tar out of me and my buddy.
Oh yeah, you know it too.
No
They would have
question.
done it in a heartbeat. Not even would have been a thing, man. It would have just been you'd have been had your ass whooped, and that would have been it. That would have been
Having
it.
one helps in certain situations. I didn't even have to pull it. I just threw my hip at him.
It does. I was laughing. This guy, we got a flat tire one night, and Linda was standing on the interstate. I handed him my gun. I said, I don't care who it is. If they come walking up towards this car, you just shoot them. Don't even ask if they're coming to help. Just shoot their asses. I said, because where we at, there ain't nobody out here coming to help us. And I'm serious. And I said, you just stand out here with a gun. And if anybody comes, I said, to stop with a car, it's different. But I said, if they come walking up, you just shoot them. I said, she's like, I said, you just shoot their asses right now. Because, some places you just know what's going to happen.
You know the bad places when you live somewhere long enough.
Let me see if I can get this to play. I know we got to bring John on in a few minutes, but let me see if I can find this right quick. Present. No, people, I'm against gun violence. I don't look. So I'm gonna say this real quick. Last year's statistic, it was 54,000 deaths by guns. Just so you know this, 45,000 of them were suicide. So that means gun deaths by someone committing the crime so at that point they were 54th on the list for killing people. 54th. So if you remove the suicide, they drop down to like 126th. There's way more shit to worry about. Cars, like 170,000 last year.
Knives.
I mean, look, people. I said this before. If you're going to try to kick out cars, you're going to have to kick out guns. I mean, I said that the other way around. Sorry. If you're going to try to kick out guns, you're going to try to kick out cars. I mean, it's ridiculous that we should even be talking about these kind of things.
Well, I mean, and that's some of the statistics that the Democrats they don't specify for you. A self-inflicted gun wound, yeah, technically that's gun violence, but it's not like, gangs in the streets, going down the street blindly shooting in a car drive-by. It's self-inflicted. It doesn't count towards people who are,
and remember,
killed by
somebody. Yeah, they killed themselves with a gun. But if they wouldn't have the gun, they would have found another way to kill themselves, guys. Let's just be honest.
Absolutely. Stab themselves, cut themselves. Right,
let's see if we can grab this article right quick. Chrome. No. Let's close this right quick. Cancel. Come on, cancel thing. Sometimes this thing just wants me to throw it out.
We need new computers, Joe.
Shit, one I'm on is brand new.
One I'm on is old and it's slower than dirt.
Nah, the old one actually is really good. The new one's a pain in the ass. Okay, we're going to share this article. This is a Fox News article, so keep your fingers crossed what's going to come out.
Fact check it.
All right, let's go ahead and start. Let's turn it out. There we go.
President Tom Fitton. Tom, it's always great to have you on. I know in the run-up to the 2020 election, the FBI was briefing social media companies every single week. Everyone's asking, why were they doing that? Well, Andy McCarthy says in the National Review that Twitter files missed the real scandal, FBI interference in the 2020 election, going on to say, quoting, the FBI was not in a position to order the companies to suppress information. It was, however, well positioned to make them fear that the failure to suppress information it might perceive as dodgy could result in serious legal consequences. So what happens is the FBI, he's saying, was planting seeds before the New York Post story was released, Tom.
Well, and the deep state had their man in Twitter, so James Baker. So you had the FBI briefing the top former FBI lawyer, who was a top lawyer at Twitter at the time, on these very issues. And of course, Baker is infamous for running this anti-Trump, or helping run this anti-Trump operation at the FBI that involves shady FISA warrants. And remember, he had that meeting with Hillary Clinton's top campaign lawyer, who supposedly didn't tell him that the Hillary campaign wanted the FBI to pursue this fake claim that Russia was colluding with Trump through secret bank servers and such. So, Baker, it turns out, was a part of the deep state, and still operating as his deep state at Twitter, because you have, the reporters suggesting that he was withholding information. And then separately, you had Musk himself talk about information that had been withheld from the previous owner, Jack Dorsey, the previous CEO. And maybe that information had been deleted. I don't know who's involved in that. But he needs to do an audit of the system there at Twitter and get all these documents out as quickly as possible.
And we don't know. That's the whole thing, is inside the company you have James Baker, right? And he's saying he doesn't know if it's a Russian hack. It could be, it might not be, but you got to proceed with caution, meaning we've got to hold this whole thing up. On the outside, you have these 51 Intel officials, right, writing up a letter saying, boy, it sure looks like it has all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation, but really we're not sure. For safety, let's just hold this up. That's the whole thing. Just hold this up for a few days, get this election going, and we can move on.
Isn't it convenient that all this decision-making always comes down one way or the other? It comes down either on behalf of Hillary or against Trump, or in the case of 2020, to help Biden, and against Trump. And I tell you, this is campaign intervention in a dramatic way. And you have this unique guy, James Baker, who was involved in a government scandal, and it looks like a corporate scandal and a political scandal when he was over at Twitter.
Yeah, and when they release all the documents, it's going to be fascinating to see what Barry Weiss and Matt Taibbi come up with, because there might be a lot more in there. And when it comes out, Tom Fenton will bring you back. Thank you for coming on, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, there y'all go. And that was very interesting. Hey, is there someone in the queue?
Michelle's
Is
in the
someone
house.
in the queue? Let's bring up the queue and see who's in the queue. That is scary. Whatever the hell that is scaring the hell out of me, man.
Let me just see if I can find some place that's. I'm outside in the car. We finished the convention, and now we went out and had dinner with one of your previous guests, Todd McCaffrey, and the Winter Twins. And I'm in the car now, nice heated car. I just need to figure out get more lights happening here.
Yeah, I forgot. That's right. I forgot you were with the Twins, and yeah, one of these days I'm gonna invite the Twins on the show. They are great, by the way. They're complete opposites, but they're both brilliant. Their dad's pretty brilliant. The friend he was just talking about, Todd's pretty good, brilliant guy. That's Ann McCaffrey's son. And I forgot he was in Todd and I have done a few interviews. We've had a few cocktails together too. While a couple of times we've been out to LA. He's an interesting character,
and got me one of her books autographed. And then my brother had a purge of our parents' house and had most of my books destroyed. But that's
that's terrible.
It's horrible. Yeah, I was so mad. But anyway,
but Todd's great. And then one of her other people who wrote with her, I've interviewed too, Jody. What's Jody's name?
Jody Lynn Nye.
Yeah. Jody's a great interview, by the way. Y'all should go check out that interview. We had a blast talking together. She's a lot of fun. I wanted to catch up with her at Dragon Con, but I didn't get a chance. Somehow one of my Saturday got completely
a lot to do with Dragon Con, dude. There's a lot.
Well, John was harassing me while I was there too. So, but I had a good time at Dragon Con, and then we were up at Salt Lake City for was the one in Salt Lake City, John?
That's called FanX.
Yeah, FanX. It went out of my brain for some reason. But that's where I met the guy we've been giving away all his lightsabers from.
Yeah, your lightsabers.
So they were great. I mean, hey, who said that? No, Dean. No. Dragon Con's definitely bigger than FanX is, but they were both great.
They both had a big audience. Probably the size is equivalent to the size of San Diego. Not quite as big, but there's, what would you say, John? 40,000 people over a 4-day weekend.
Ooh, easy. There's more than that.
Dragon Con, it's 80. They were 80 this year.
Yeah, it was
wow.
80,
okay, when I went, it was 40 to 50. So
it was crazy. And you know what? I didn't hear anybody bitching about getting COVID or any other thing. And neither one of the it's not that I don't think some people got it. It's just, look, I was in the middle of all these people. I know John and Sarah and Emily were in the middle of all these people, and John and Emily and Sarah, matter of fact, I haven't had Sarah one of these days. I'll have to talk to her on coming on, but These three are something else when they're out there working the field. But they're exposed to all this stuff all the time. I mean, he's in Vegas right now. And he's in Vegas. So how many days? 10 days in Vegas.
10 days.
Oh,
10 days in Vegas.
you poor man.
That's what I said.
It's a convention. I'll take. Except I took 2 days and I flew to St. Louis to speak at a 50th anniversary of Applied Scholastics, and talk to about 75 educators, lecturing them. And Applied Scholastics is a whole thing created by L. Ron Hubbard way back. Is a big problem people have is even if you write books for somebody, if they don't know how to read, don't know how to study, they're not going to understand it. So he created a whole technology on how to study. And so this whole group called Applied Scholastics was created. It's international. And it was great. There were people from all over the world that flew in. And so I was a guest of one of the main speaker guests there. So I took my cowboy boots off, flew out there, froze my tush off there. It was 30 degrees, which I'm not used to that.
Oh, hey, Michelle. Didn't see you hiding over there. Michelle's in here. You better behave yourself, buddy.
Oh, she's a sweetheart.
She's in the house, man. You better watch out.
No, man, I like her. She's there. She's gonna keep you in check.
Yeah.
She got enough to keep in check without worrying about me. Trust me. I was talking to her.
Okay, I'm not the
I
bad
missed it today.
here.
We were actually supposed to hook up today, but somehow I missed it today. But I'll catch up with it over the weekend. But
yeah,
because we got this Roku stuff going. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be. I know I haven't talked about it much, but we're going to be adding Roku to the system, so you will be able. You won't have to come here to watch us. You can go in your bedroom and flick it on. I mean, I don't know if you want to watch me and Jay and John in your bedroom, but still, you can go on and flick it on and watch.
Thanks for the throw under the bus there, Joe.
Or I'm just saying, or you watch us in your living room. You watch us anywhere now. So, if you have Roku, you can watch us anywhere in the world. So
Roku is very, very cool and very easy to use. So, and it's not expensive either. And
it was the first of these kind of platforms. Everybody's on. It's not just us. I mean, everybody in the world's on it. So you get out there and take a look and see. You'll be able to see us on big screens and stuff. Every now and then I turn the girls on. I'll watch them on my TV in my bedroom, which is 75 inches. And so they're out there.
Moment, Joe.
Yeah. So, I got to check up on them, make sure they're keeping their stuff together, man. Nothing hidden back. There's nothing. Let me tell you what, when you get on that big screen, you're not hiding nothing. It's all in high def. It's
you don't
high
want to see this on a big 100-inch television.
It's too funny. So wait, you headed home now, huh, John? You done for?
No, Emily's inside. We're still having dinner. I'm just I'm out here in the parking on the street in a car with engine
you see
running,
how
so
she just kicked his ass to the curb, man. Damn.
Yeah.
Literally, he's in a car on the curb.
She kicked his ass to the curb, man.
Yeah, so she's in there with Todd and the Winter Twins, and they're just chattering away.
Wait, Jeff didn't show up. He's busy or something.
What's that?
Yeah, if he didn't show up.
Jeff?
No, who's the daddy of the twins?
Oh yeah, Jeff is there too. Yeah, he's there.
Yeah.
I sent you a picture with everybody at dinner just now. I just sent it before you sent me the link.
Yeah.
But it's
He's got his out. I got to get mine out.
That's
but
right.
Mine makes noise.
Actually, guys, Jeff is one of the winners from last year. Jeff Winters, one of the winners from last year, and that's when I got to meet his two daughters, and they are something else. I got to give them credit. They are both high energy. Yeah, they're both high energy. And they both seem to be quite brilliant.
Yeah, Brittany made the dinner tonight, so she there's a whole full Jewish dinner that was amazing. I'm just stuffed.
That's a good thing. That's always a way to go. And that's what we just said, Crystal. Ty McCaffrey is Ann McCaffrey's son. Yes, that's And actually, him and I did 3 interviews together. And John's done some interviews. So there's about 5 interviews on the network. You can go listen. You can find out who he really is. Actually, he's a good guy. We had a lot of fun. We cut up a little bit, but we had a lot of fun. And you can check all those interviews out. And yes, most of them are in video, so you can actually go see them as well. And then there's a couple interviews I've done with people who have been related to her or have worked with her. So just go through the list. It usually will say somewhere in the description of what it's about, and you can go look at it. They're on video too, so you can see them. You can go see them on video. Actually, the lady we were just talking about is one of the judges, and I don't know. They're all high. If you ever win and get to go out to LA, you'll find out how energy this group is. I mean, they're something else, man. Yeah. They I don't know. The judges got some pretty good claims to fame. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. For the judges, you have to be pretty high profile and pretty successful in order to make it.
Yeah, they don't let the guy off the street come judge them. That's
I
not how it
heard a
works.
story that Frank Frazetta was an art judge at one point. Yeah.
Yeah. He was one of the judges. He was one of the first judges. And Frank Herbert, the guy that wrote Dune, his son Brian Herbert's a judge now, but Frank was a judge.
I've read his stuff. He's great.
Yeah.
It's they've got some excellent judges. All I can tell you is to go over to writersofthefuture.com and check it out, and you can find out who's judging right now, who's involved, who's not. There's also a free course over there if you want to. Yes, he's in the dark. That's probably because his wife's beating him up right now. But I didn't want nobody to see that, man. Oh no, what do you mean? Oh no, Sarah. Well, unless you've seen them at one of the conferences, or have seen them in running Writers of the Future, something like that, they're just high energy. They are. They run circles around me. It's oh yeah, and if you ever get there, don't sit around because they'll put you to work. I'm just telling you. No, I'm not kidding. They'll put you to work, guys. Sarah will put anybody to work. And they're all great salesmen, but they far more than that if you get to meet them. I personally like all of them and consider them friends, and they're good people. And I've had nothing but good times with them. Matter of fact, we've got a lot of stuff out now. Oh, while I'm thinking about this, the gala from last year is up on the UPRN site, so you can go check it out. You don't even have to go to YouTube and look for it. I know how many of y'all hate YouTube now, and you can just click it and watch it from there. Yes, our goal is to get it up higher than what it is right now. So I've seen a nice increase in the last couple of weeks, but we're going to see it higher than that. By April, we're going to see it about double, maybe triple what it is right now. So get over there, take a look at it. And there's a lot of fun things. You can see my ugly face in there, and you'll see everybody's face in there.
Now he's on a pretty suit. He's looking snappy.
They
got the red-nosed reindeer tie on tonight, which he didn't show anybody.
I didn't have no choice. My daughter would have hurt me, so that's how it is when you get children around. You know, well, grown children. She's 52, so that's a little different.
But anyway, we're here in Las Vegas now. It's just a Western show. It's amazing because it's a new public for us that we're coming here to the show to work with, and L. Hubbard wrote like over 30 Westerns, and so we got some great blurbs. You know, like if you like Louis L'Amour and Zane Grey, you'll love L. Hubbard. So I love, Louis L'Amour is just, it's tops. So when they see that, we've sold probably close to 800 books so far. Since we've been here.
I could have been out there in my boots and my duster and my hat.
You could have been, but no.
They'd be like, who is this redneck? Who is this redneck showing up here?
Right.
I mean, all these guys, these are all champion buckaroos. It's the real deal with these guys. They're all, Western, they're all ranchers or they're cowboys. They hustle on on selling on raising cattle and on horses. They got rodeos pretty much every night. So a lot of them are out here to enter in their contestants in the various rodeo. And see these guys, these big belt buckles, the only way you can get the buckles is by winning whatever thing you're doing. So it's amazing.
They don't have no ride the bull out there.
All that stuff is part of what they've got here.
That's our stuff.
All right, I'll pay money to see Sarah ride the bull.
Yeah, and it's but what's amazing is that they're such nice people. They have amazing manners. The kids are like, they'll actually have a conversation with you. They'll talk to you.
Harold said it's because Harold just said it's because they're all Republicans. You might be right, Hal. I mean, most of the people I know in the country are red, not blue, but it's we don't really care. They're out there. Vegas is a good place to have it. There's a lot of Western states out there. A
lot of cattle drives went through the state. From Texas.
Well, you got New Mexico right there. You got Arizona right there. You got Cali. There's a lot of people can come hang out. Vegas is weird.
They see these book covers. These are from the 30s and 40s. So they see the stuff and they go, "Wow, that's amazing! What's that?" And so they had no idea that he wrote all this. First, I had no idea who he is because it's a brand new audience for us. But then they see all these different stories, and a lot of stuff that he wrote is historical fiction. So he picks some like the Gadsden Purchase or cyanide mining or just these different things of putting the railways. And he takes a specific fact of point, the Lewis and Clark expedition. And so he'll take these points, and then from that he'll weave a story that's just fascinating.
That's cool.
So his stuff is really, really popular and very successful. And we have, a lot of the guys, the real hardcore cowboys that I don't have time for this. Like they list out the whole day for me, starting like at 4 o'clock in the morning. They get up and they have to do this with the cows, and they do this with the horses, and then they have to do this with bales of hay. And they do it's crazy. They get done by early evening and go to bed because they're like beat, So but that's what these guys are. They come in with their boots on. They got, some of them have their everybody's got the cowboy hats, but they got their just
chaps,
that's what they are.
Boots.
Yeah. Spurs. A lot of them have spurs.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Are they having any bullwhip throwing contests out there? That would be cool to watch.
I haven't seen that. They had a thing today in our hall where they have the little kids come in and they have little roping competitions for them. They have the artificial cows, and they have to lasso the horns. And these are little 4-year-olds, 6-year-olds, and they're there lassoing the cows.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a whole lifestyle that these guys have. But it's amazing, just how all the different genres that Hubbard wrote in. Like Joe, we've always talked about science fiction and fantasy and the dark fantasy, but his westerns he wrote more of those than he did science fiction.
Yeah, I was looking around. I was looking around for my pad, but I guess it's another room.
Yeah,
I thought it was in here.
No, it's right here, Joe. I got it.
Not that bad, buddy. Look, I hate to even talk about this pad. This thing's been just weird the whole time I've had it. I had to bring it the other day because it locked up about something. Whoever had it for how many other months it was must have been trying to break into the damn thing.
For sure.
And so, there's a ton of stuff in there. I mean, all Elron stuff is in there. So, I mean,
right.
It's the material is far worth more than the pad is. That's what I was pissed off about. Anything can be put on another pad or a laptop. Because I used it the first year. I used it to read coming out there. I would have this year, but I was actually reading out of the book when I went out this year. And I got the window seats. I had myself kind of wedged in there with the book up against the window reading. But that was book 38, I believe.
Yeah.
Which we're going to be giving away more books. I got to see what my inventory is first, ladies and gentlemen, because I had to mail out a bunch the other day. I mailed out 126 of them the other day. So I got to look. I got to look and see what we got. I still got a bunch. I just got to see what they are, so I know what I'm giving away.
Yeah, and if you need more books, let me know.
I know. Well, some of these are going to be from y'all. Some of these are going to be from other people. Oh no, we're giving away a lot. I mean, volume 36, 37, 38. I've been giving away, and people have been loving them. Now I have sent out a couple. I think they're 5-book bundles of. It's like I can't remember now. It's like, what? Where are they? It's like. No, these are the 20s. These are the 30s. I've been giving some of these away here. This is like 30 through 36, but I've been giving away some. I think it's 21 through 29 or 22 through 28. I got to look up. I could be lying to you totally, but I've had a couple of them come in. Okay, now, ladies, while I'm on this thing, this is going to sound rude, but don't send me used books. I don't want to send them to people. I could tell people to use books, but and I'll tell you what, you can send me to use books and I'll donate those to different libraries around the area. Okay. Cause they don't mind, but sending them out to presents to people or gifts that they might give to somebody else, I'd rather them be new. And the books aren't that expensive. So
it is kind of rude.
Galaxypress.com if you want to go over there.
Back many, many years ago, one of my aunts, I don't remember which one, I think it was my dad's older sister. She worked in a bookstore. And every once in a while, she would send me and my brother and my mom and dad to send us some books. But the cover was ripped off. And it was a kind of a loophole, I guess, back then in the 70s, 80s, or if the book was damaged, they could write it out of inventory, get a credit from the publisher, get some new ones sent in. And then they either throw that book out or give it away. So they would send them to us. But the cover was gone. And that's where like half of the artwork is, I mean, you want to see what?
Yeah, I mean, because they're great. There's great
artwork about the author somewhere else in the book. I mean,
all of the. Hold on, let me move Bob from over here. Bob wants to say hello.
Bob the alien.
Hi, baby. Let's get Bob at it. Oh, well, we'll do that tomorrow night. Hold on. I still got a couple of fears I want to give away, and I got.
Did you read it yet, Joe? Did you read it yet?
I'm not ready yet. I'm not gonna read it anyway. I'm gonna listen to it on audio. But I just so. That's not what I was looking for. I swear oh, there it is.
It sucks getting old, doesn't it?
It sucks being disorganized. I like it.
That too.
The whole part I can deal with. So, if you can tell me. Matter of fact, if the first 2 people who get this correct can tell me the year L. Ron Hubbard died. I will give you. Hold on, let's get him here. I want to make sure I got him in order. Okay, and okay. So I'm gonna give you this one. I'm gonna give you 3 now. I'm gonna give you this one.
Nice.
Dun, 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 dun. Nice artwork on it.
Yeah, that's cool.
This is the winners from book. This is 36. This is 3 years back. There's some great stories in here.
12 to 14 of them.
I think I've got 38 through 28 read now, and
Wow.
And then this was going to come along with it. Now the last one you've seen and this one were held
37.
together because this was right after COVID. So there was 24 winners that year, and or 26 or something. But anyway, y'all can see that
because we had to delay a year.
So the artwork was kind of a little close together on this. Okay, now this is the previous winners. Well, I shouldn't say previous. This was last year's winners because
year.
in 6 months they'll
I've
be
seen
doing
that
this
book.
again.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so this is also, so I'm gonna give you 3 of these. I'm gonna give this away to the first 2 people who tell me what year L. Ron Hubbard died. I know we're getting close to the hour, so if we don't get to it anyway, it goes. Now for the lightsaber, I'm gonna give away a lightsaber. I'm not gonna even tell you what kind it is. No, it's gonna be a mystery to this week. If you can tell me what the person on the council, on the Jedi Council, that now he's high up in the Jedi Council that wielded a purple lightsaber. Okay, that will be the person 25. You got to be number 25, or the person right after.
Purple.
So he or she wielded a purple lightsaber. Send it to iCartCox.net. And I always tell these giveaways and forget to give the damn email out.
Yeah, you should roll that across the bottom so people can,
Yeah, I should. I really should. But
right
it's
into
ICAR at Cox.net. No, we're not giving away this one yet because I got 2 coming in. That the guy.
You don't want that one anyway. That's got Joe's fingerprints all over it.
Well, we sold so many of this for this guy. So I didn't tell you about this, John. So he's all together. I think we've given away 12 now. From that 12, he sold 240 lightsabers.
Oh, that's such good news.
Yeah,
so cool.
And these things are anywhere from $500 to $800. Because people see them, on here. They see them when they're looking for them. When they go looking for them. No, I'm not telling you who it is. I might be giving away. Oh, I almost gave away who it was. Damn. Oh no.
Well, don't use me, even though this is purple. It may not come across the video as purple. This is a purple lightsaber, but I was not the guy who wielded it.
Well, I gave away Qui-Gon Jinns the other day. I've given away 3 of Obi-Wan Kenobis. I've given away 3 different ones. Actually, 3 different ones of Obi-Wan Kenobi. There's the movie, and then there's the new movies, and then there's the television series. Yeah. So we gave one for each one of those. Those were $900 a piece, people.
Wow.
I know. So
you're not cheap, John. They're neat, but they're not cheap.
Yeah.
And the guy put all. Now I haven't changed this, but the first time we talked, then the last time, all of them come with fighter blades, so you can whack something with them. If you don't, they put the other blade on it, and they're easily breakable. Wow, my English is bad tonight. I don't know what it is. They're okay, nice and it's fun. I know.
Now, Joe, is this a hard stop tonight at 11 o'clock for you?
No, we're not. We don't have anybody after us right now, so it's.
When we get close to the end, I want to walk back into the house and just because Jeff Weiner's there and the Winter Twins and Todd McCaffrey.
Oh yeah, put them all on there. Yeah, give us about 15 more minutes and you can go walking in there.
Okay, good.
Trisha, who's the ghost guy? Oh, no, okay, I'm sorry. That's John Goodwin from Galaxy Press. Yes,
the ghost guy.
John, yes,
wow.
He's ghost and no, I can't give him away. His wife would not appreciate that very much. I'm scared, At least she might heard me say it's not.
He will come down there and beat you up.
Oh man, no, I just said he's not single. He's married. He's big time married too. I personally know. I love both of them. Actually, I love all 3 of them. All 4 of them. Everybody I've met over there I really like. Everybody from Author Services to Galaxy Press. They're all great people. Oh, John would have to explain to you what Author Services is. I would screw it up.
Yeah, so we're the literary agency for L. Ron Hubbard, and so we publish all of his fiction works, and it's something we've been doing. I was brought over from Bridge Publications back in 2002 to start up Galaxy Press, so I've been there since 2002, and I've known Joe. Actually, we met as a result of of Jim Mars.
Yeah. Oh, I missed
Jim Mars
man.
was our spokesperson for Battlefield Earth. I'm standing outside now, so it's easier to see me.
Yeah. I
Let's see
missed
what's the
Jim.
best. Yeah,
There we go. Oh, look
There
at
we
it.
go.
there we
That
go.
was cute.
There we go. I'll be out here for a while until I freeze, but otherwise,
Welcome into the light.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I
I missed Jim.
But anyway,
man.
so that's how we originally met. And I did the first show when, after he passed, I came and talked about what he did for us as our national spokesperson for Battlefield Earth. And then
that was big points
then I
for
went
John.
through the trial by
Jr.
fire with Joe on.
Yes, yeah,
what
I'm a
I
big
did.
pain in the ass. And
Yeah.
oh, y'all
He
can go
did-
back and listen to other episodes we've talked about this. But Jim was good brownie points for him because I knew Jim for a long time, more than a decade, and he didn't. He never did anything with anybody unless he was sure about their character. That's the only way I can say it.
He was a quality researcher.
He was a quality researcher, not just on ufology people. He did a lot of stuff on the Kennedy. He did a blanket full of research. All I can tell you is look up Jim Mars. I'm not going to be the only one that's interviewing John. So there's lots of interviews out there with him with lots of different material, and I would suggest anybody go listen to him. You know, everybody in any of these fields missing because he was just an outstanding researcher.
Yeah, he wrote the book that the movie JFK was based on.
Yeah. I mean, he's just really good at what he does. I'm sorry, at what he did. It's still hard for me sometimes when I think about it. Him and I had his last interview before he passed. Actually, his last two, because we did a UFO interview and then we did a Kennedy interview, kind of a Kennedy slash. All right, that's not true. Actually, we did the Kennedy interview and then him and I did an interview on politics. Oh man, one thing that was great is him and I politics were really close. But two, he did not pull any punches. He was like, boom, man. I was like, damn, Jim, you can get us fired, man. Yeah, but he was
amazing. Yeah.
And I would not challenge him on anything because I already knew that he did his homework before he came to talk. I mean, he made sure he had his ducks in his row before he got behind any mic anywhere. I mean, him and I were picking on I can't think of his name now in Roswell, Jerry Pippin. And we were giving him tons of shit because Jerry Pittman was a good researcher too. He was a good radio show host at least. And we were giving him tons of crap one night while we were in Roswell for the 60th anniversary. But Jim was great, guys. That's all I can tell you. Go check his work out. He's got books to his credit. He's got hundreds, probably thousands of interviews across many different. You don't have to just listen to us. He was interviewed by just tons of people and from all around the world. So I just go listen to him. And he will kind of probably change your mind on some stuff if you spend some time listening to him. I don't matter what year it is until I go look. No, whoever wins, I'm just going to write to you and then I'm going to send you the books. Oh, just make sure you include your address. Somebody who won one of the lightsabers last time forgot their address. And they finally wrote to me after about a week. Am I going to get us as soon as you give me your address? Oh, I forgot. No, we'll hold them up to 90 days, people. If we don't get your address by 90 days, then we'll give them out to somebody else.
And that's most radio stations. If you win something, if you don't contact them within weeks, it's gone. They give it to somebody else.
And out of the 12 that we've given away, 7 have been in other countries.
Germany,
yes.
Australia.
Yeah, New Zealand, Mexico. I forgot the other one, but we've had some really good giveaways. No, they don't.
New Mexico's not another country.
I said New Mexico. I mean Mexico. Sorry. Oh, people, I'm sorry.
That's local, sir.
Mexico people.
That's actually more local to you than it is to me. I'm over on the East Coast.
It's we had a good time. No, John is. He's kind of the spokesperson. Actually, they all kind of are. I hate to just dump it all on John. But he really is. He, for what they do, and for not just for writers of the future, but for there's a whole. One day I'll have him on and we'll just talk about the realm of stuff that he's involved in.
Sure.
And writers of the future. Writers of the future is great. I would not have endorsed him if I hadn't checked him out myself. And he gave me unfettered access to everyone. And let me tell you what, no one, and I'm talking even people over the Author Service because you know how I got a big mouth, I ask a lot of questions. No one even hesitated. So I was messing with Sarah one night and I said, well, really, what is the catch behind this? And she just looked at me and she just went off for 15 minutes why there wasn't a catch. But that's the truth.
Then she put you to work.
Yeah, and then she put me to work. But Jamie, I did do it anyways. Nothing y'all need to know about. But no one at the conference, no one at the awards ceremony, no one I talked to had anything bad to say. There's all the people are hard workers. Actually, hard workers and good looking too. You can't even beat the combination. It's just they really, really work. They really are presenting themselves. There's no funky monkey business with writers of the future. It's just what it is. It's exactly what it is. You're a good writer, a good illustrator. You win. You win. There's no funky monkey behind it. You come out. They take good care of you. They send you home. Yes, people. Shit, they flew some from Australia. What are you talking about?
3 people.
I'm still
last year.
stunned about that. Yeah, I mean,
How many people?
3 people from Australia. We had somebody from Portugal, some from a couple from UK, Sweden,
yeah.
wherever they're from is where they get
It's
flown
not
from.
cheap either.
Yes.
No.
Well, he got on this network, and we keep adding more countries. We might have to slow that down a little bit. But,
Which is great.
Yeah,
we want that.
Like
we
that new country, New Mexico. We're going to add that to the
we'll
mix.
add that New Mexico.
Yeah, we've had
country.
winners from Mexico, but we have entries from over 175 countries, and we've had winners from about 50.
And
Wow.
they're not. If you don't win, they're not going to be mean to you. And
Yeah, keep trying,
sometimes
right?
they even write to give you suggestions to help you. Like next time you want to submit, and you
Yeah.
can submit 4 times a year. Yeah, 4 times a year.
Four chances a year.
Yes, and so it may take you a little while to get in. I met some first-time winners. I met some winners that were 20, 30 times back. Matter of fact, I'm glad you said that. I got
Well, you had a guy that just recently won who tried 30 some times, 38 different times.
You had Preston Dennett on whatever. He entered 47 times.
yeah,
he's a regular on your network, and then Wolf Moon, he entered I think 27 times. So we got people that entered.
I got Wildman coming on in a couple of weeks. They formed some little group for writers, and I want to see what it's about. And as soon as I get time to get hold to Mr. Australia out there in Portugal, I'm getting. He's not in Portugal. Sorry, he's in.
He's in.
Where the hell is
Europe
he? Right
somewhere.
There.
He's in the Netherlands.
Right
somewhere.
there. Yeah, he moves around a lot. He's fun. He's a good writer. He's just fun in general. He's high energy. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he'll be on the podcast pretty soon. I'm reading his book now.
Yeah, so I'll have him on in a couple of weeks. It's we go back and talk to him from time to time, or I tell him if they got something new, just write to me and I'll put them on the network. Yeah. And it's not just me. I'm not the only one that does authors on the network. Jeffrey loves to do authors.
Yeah, me and Jeff do authors. It's most of what we do.
Yeah, that's most of what the Church of Mavis does is authors. Of course, a couple of the other shows on the network also do authors. So if you're looking and you got a decent book and well, it's 17,000 words.
I put one guy on the show today, the one I just sent you, Hank Garrett. He's got a book, an autobiography. That's why I did him. He's got a book from Harlem Hoodlum to Hollywood Heavyweight. He's the mailman in 3 Days of the Condor. Remember that scene there? He's the one that did that. He just got an award last year in Las Vegas. It's the best fight scene ever in the history of movies. He's also got a lifetime achievement in, I guess, karate and wrestling. He was saved by Sammy Davis Jr. from basically dying on the streets there in Harlem. And he was in Car 54, Where Are You? I don't know if you ever saw that show. He was one in there. But he's got an amazing story. He opened for 4 years for Tony Bennett as a comedian in Las Vegas. And just what a great guy. But we did an interview on how he came to do his autobiography. And it's a great interview. I just sent that to you today, Joe. So people are going to love that one when that comes out. But
it'll get. Matter of fact, guys and girls, y'all see it tomorrow. Posted sometime in the afternoon.
Yeah,
they usually get posted sometime Sunday afternoon. That's his Monday show.
I'm going to start walking into the house precinct because I'm starting to get kind of chilly.
Yeah, get inside there because we're going to be wrapping up in a few minutes.
Yeah, and I'll
Lisa, what? So what if you live in LA? You got to win. You can't just show up. The police will escort you out of the place. You can't just show up. I'm sorry. You got to win.
There's a puppy.
What do you mean?
So here we are. I'm going to show you now. Here's Jeff. This is Joe Montaldo.
Joe. Hey, Jeff. What's up, babe? Looking good, man. Looking good. We just into politics tonight. That's all. Seeing who we can hate on tonight.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, if you were here, we did invite you to Shabbat dinner, but you're not here.
That
so
sounds, I know.
Doesn't
John
apply.
said it was amazing.
Food,
so yeah, I was jealous. John was telling me it was amazing. I was like,
yeah.
He said we all stuffed him up.
Yeah, he ate a lot. He ate, in fact, he gored. In fact, truth is that there was
okay,
honey.
thank you. Okay, now you're done.
He said, time to move on to the next. Oh, Lord.
Now you recognize this person.
Hi.
Hello, Miss Emily. How you
Hey,
doing?
everybody.
We were just talking about you a minute ago.
Oh,
All good stuff.
All good stuff. Wasn't that bad? It was all good stuff. Matter of fact, we was talking about Sarah, too, a few minutes
Hey,
ago.
Joe.
Hey, Ty, what you doing, babe?
Oh, not much. Having a good time. Going to
That's
talk with you
good.
again sometime.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to catch up. We'll have to get caught
Yeah,
up
we
pretty
have
soon.
to. It'll be fun.
Yeah,
Yep.
because we were talking about you earlier in this show, actually.
Uh-oh.
And some of the stuff.
All good stuff. All good stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, everybody was good stuff. We was talking about everybody
that's
good
great.
for a change.
Okay. It's good seeing you again.
That'd be good, guys. That'd be good.
Now, have you met the Winter Twins at all?
yes.
Yes, I did. I talked to them both. I thought they were both fabulous when I met
So here's
them in LA
Brianna.
last year.
Hi, good to see you.
Oh, look at the Chiweewee, man. All right, cool Chiweewee. I love Chiweewees. I was just looking at you.
Oh yeah, I got a little chihuahua right here.
Yes,
Buddy.
mine. Usually one of them are in here with me when I'm doing shows, but she's hiding tonight. Look at that baby. I know, huh? Y'all doing good. Oh, look. She's like, yeah, Mom, I love you too, baby.
Yeah, he's just totally chill. He's 9 years
that's how
old now. He's
mine-
got nothing to worry about.
That's how mine.
hanging
They're
out.
rotten like that. Yeah.
So this is approximations. So I was
Right in the face, perfect.
All right. Well, we're gonna let you get going, and we're
But
gonna
anyway,
wrap
thank
up
you
here
very
in a few
much.
minutes.
And if anybody's here in Las Vegas listening, just come see us this weekend at the. We're at the Rio, and it's the Stetson Country Christmas, and it's just an amazing. If you like anything cowboy, you're gonna have a blast here.
Which end is Rio on?
It's on the Rio end. It's
I was trying to think.
I don't know.
On that side of the street.
It's somewhere out there, people. Type it in, y'all can
it's
find
big. You can see it along the top. You can see it from miles away. Rio.
it. That's why GPS was invented. So all you gotta do is type
Exactly.
it in.
That's why I do it.
That's gonna go.
I'm gonna have to try to come out.
The other
next
end
year
of the
and
line
do
when I
blow-up
type in my
contest.
You be
Exactly.
good, dude. I'll talk at you soon, bud. Give
Okay,
everybody a
thank
hug
you.
for
Good
me.
seeing you as well,
Yep.
Jay.
Hey, buddy.
Bye bye,
John.
Joe. And bye, Jay. Okay, talk to you later. Okay, bye bye.
All right. Bye.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
That sounds like
Guys-
fun. I'm gonna have to go out there and see if I can get into a bullet throwing contest. I bet I don't do too bad. Self-taught and all.
That was John Goodwin. He came by to drop in to see us the last half hour. They were out in L.A. and not out in L.A. I'm sorry, out in Las Vegas.
Las
and,
Vegas.
They,
It's right next to that new country, New Mexico. That we
that new
talked
country,
about
New
earlier.
Mexico. It's but anyway, y'all can go hang out and visit with him. He's on when he's there for a couple of more days, and they've been doing it's a Western conference is what it is, and they're out there with the whole crew with Dale Ron Hubbard and all their books and stuff. So if you're looking for something interesting to read, stop by and see them. As far as well, Dean, that's cool. Well, we're pretty much wrapped up on politics tonight. That's why we brought you on the last half hour. But no, you mean the Valencia thing? Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Balenciaga?
No. Oh yeah, we're not the Valenciaga. Yeah, we're not. Oh no, that's that. First off, I got to see what date it is, but somewhere towards the middle of January. Let me see if I can find it on here. It's let's see.
There's going to be a trial or a court date.
It's going to be probably. Oh man. Can't do it on the 18th because it'll run into Michelle's show and she'll shoot me. I can't do it on the 19th. So it will probably be Friday the 20th. We're going to do a panel show. We're going to announce it, and we'll probably put up advertisement for it. And once the Roku's up, we'll probably put up advertisement for it there as well.
Is it going to be the UPRN Roku channel? There'll be a tile for that?
There's going to be, they'll be up there, and so you can find us. And well, when you go for Roku, whatever you want to call it,
Roku,
I call it both.
Japanese Roku.
This channel would be UFO Paranormal Radio /TV United. So now some of the other channels will say United Public Radio /UFO Paranormal TV. So it's going to be a little confusing in the beginning because not everything we do is UFO Paranormal related, but because there is such a big interest in YAP right now, we're going to take advantage of it on Roku and name the station that and make it easy to follow us. And UFO Paranormal has been around for 20 years now, so It's done quite well for itself. And you'll find it there. Of course, United Public's not going anywhere because United Public is where we do all of our serious interviews for serious candidates and serious people like that, and for judges and politicians and just strange people in general. That's where we do the interviews. But everything else, yeah. So that's where we're at right now, by the way, United Public Radio tonight. So, well, we had to have it because I remember I called a local politician I wanted to interview him, and we had a serious conversation. He was really interested until I said the name of the station was UFO Parent. He said, "Oh, I can't go on air, dude." He said, "I'm sorry." He said, "Why don't you change the name of the station?" So that's when we bought into 1077 New Orleans, so we could actually use that. And well, hold on.
So, but the point is, you can find the radio station under United Paranormal Radio Network and United Public Radio Network. So
yeah, so just look for us, and you'll find us. When will it show up? Probably next week. Well, I hooked up the deal. Oh, Jesus, like 8 days ago, but I've been so busy with my own personal life. Like yesterday, I was putting all new appliances. Well, I put all new furniture, new TV, and all new appliances in the house yesterday, and we installed all our appliances because I'm a contractor. Why would I pay somebody to do it? And
plus
then
2 new floors.
Yeah, plus we still got a hall and a half to do on the floor, so we're going to finish that tomorrow. And then I'm putting a new backsplash. It's mother of pearl backsplash.
Oh, nice.
Because I got this stove that doesn't have the back on it. The controls are in the front. So it's gorgeous, and everything is in stainless steel black. It is really, really pretty,
Nice.
especially against the floors. Well, people, when you own your own company like that, you can, being a contractor, usually I get the prices a little cheaper, and I can do the work myself. Well, you mean how much if I would have hired a contractor to put the floor in? $15,000 to $20,000 for the floor.
Plus, you get contractor points at the 2 big contractor hardware stores.
Yeah,
Whereas at Home Depot, you get points and stuff like that.
Yeah, you get points like that. So yeah, if I'd have hired somebody to do it, $20,000 at least. You mean appliances? If I'd have bought them normal and had them installed, they would have cost me an additional $4,000 to $5,000 what I paid for them. Yeah. So I actually bought.
Not good for it, but
I actually bought the.
Cheaper, right?
Yeah, no. Well, I used I used one of my Home Depot building accounts and bought them on that. And anything over $2,500, they'll give you a break on. This was quite a bit over that, so they hooked us up pretty good.
Did they buy in bundles for those or not?
Let me say that again.
Did they run you through the pro bid room for the?
Yeah, for the anything over 2,500 you can do the bid on. So, and this was quite a bit over that. So, and I'm a regular customer, so they were like, "Yeah, let's see what we can do for you." Well, I got the $1 deposit at Home Depot. When you go to rent tools, it's only $1 deposit for me. They don't even do that shit for anybody else anymore. You can be an old school to do that. Now I rent a lot of stuff from people. This is how it is. No, I enjoy it, and everything's nice and pretty. And next week we start painting. Usually we do it painted first, but the way that company and house is and the way shit was coming in, we didn't want to wait because, get too close to Christmas. All of a sudden your furniture would have got lost, your tools, your appliances. As it is, they put the appliance date back 5 days. I was like, oh, wait a minute now, people. But everything's in. Except the dishwasher was the wrong color. I got to send it back. They sent me a stainless steel and it's supposed to be stainless steel black. I like the stainless steel black, people. I think it's pretty. If they would have had that stainless navy blue they got, I'd have done everything in that color, but they only got the dishwasher and nothing else. It's a new color that Samsung's putting out. You mean warranty wise? My Samsung washer, my Samsung refrigerator and stove came with a 10-year warranty. Yeah, not on labor though, just on parts. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they stopped making cell phones exclusively to work more on their appliances.
They got a lot of good stuff out there. The only downside, and I'll be honest with everybody, the only downside with buying a Samsung right now is it takes a little longer to get things done. It's like when you first got LG appliances, it took a little longer because there's not as many people working on it. But that's changing now because they're selling so many appliances. It's I could have bought anything. What I got rid of in my house was I had Frigidaire Professional Series because the people who owned the house before me were cooks, chefs. So they had actually put in really nice appliances. But they were sitting in the house for 5 years before I bought it, and I've had the house for 10 years. So it was time to change.
Yeah, and there's been a paradigm shift in appliances. I mean, you go back into the 70s, everybody had a Frigidaire stove, refrigerator, freezer, you name it. And then I don't know when it happened, 80s, 90s, everything changed. Everybody started making them. I mean, GE already did, but they weren't as popular back in the 70s. So
when
a lot of different companies that make good appliances out there now.
all of my appliances bitch at me if I leave them open, by the way.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
the freezer goes crazy. It's like ding ding ding. I'm like, it's like, please close me now.
Oh, you got you got one of those fridges that tells you when you're out of milk?
No. I was gonna do that. I really wanted the one where you open the door to get your Cokes out of.
It has a panel door that you can open up.
Yeah, but they wouldn't include it with the package, and they wanted like, I don't know, it was like $7,000. I mean, it was going to be $7,000 over what I wanted to pay, and I was like, what the hell? I mean, the damn refrigerator is only $5,500 like it is, and they're like, no, it's not part of the package. You're going to lose all these discounts. I was like, well, screw you too, and so I got the double door, beautiful. 30 cubic inch, people. That's a big refrigerator. It's not a little
food.
It's a big ass refrigerator, and it's got its own ice maker and stuff like that. You know, the other reason I wanted the knock on door, right? It made the highball ice, the round ones.
Yeah, some of them make the round balls now.
Yeah. it made three. It made the regular, the highball, and the crush. But
yeah,
no, mine does crushed and regular and water, people. Chilled water. That's what it does. Yes, and it's been a while since I had an ice maker on there. The other one didn't have it. What's that, baby? No, I'm getting ready to get off in a minute. And anyway, we got to get out of here. The boss lady said, "Get your ass off the air."
She's looking for you.
Yes, and that's weird. They haven't been in the room tonight because the other room's been closed. Because Lola, my black Chihuahua, she will come and get on me and go to sleep.
Yeah.
And when I'm wearing anything dark, nobody knows she's there. So a lot of times she'll like flick her eyes, and people just start writing. What the hell was that? It's
you got her head in the middle of your chest, Joe.
No, she's just, it's like it's a demon. But no, I'm glad everybody wrote in. It was a good news segment tonight. We got a lot of news. No, I'm not going to change my mind on Brittany. Sorry.
Yeah, me either. And we didn't really touch much on Ukraine. There's been some changes going on in the war in Ukraine too.
Yes. Oh, and did you see that the Americans have cut the distance down to their missiles? Because the first batch we sent them were regular missiles for these systems. Well, these suckers reached well into Russia territory, a couple of 100 miles. We fixed that, so now they can only barely reach the border. Well,
they changed their tactics just this week. On the 5th, they sent a couple of air strikes on Russian Air Force bases and actually bombed the hell out of them. So
well, I'm hoping this goes away. I have seen a lot of articles where Russian troops are pulling back. But, people, just because Russia pulls back don't mean the war's over. Russia might use some low-end tactical nukes and just wipe those 3 cities out. If they, the old saying, if they can't have them, you can't have them. It's like, I don't remember the old days that the Romans used to poison the wells when they would leave.
Yeah, well, scorched earth, they would burn the entire city as well.
Yeah. So, they wasn't leaving nothing behind for you. And Russia might be feeling the same way. I mean, it's hard for me because everybody's picking a side. It's hard for me to pick a side. Well, one, I don't know Linsky from a flea's ass.
I mean Zelensky.
Linsky. I don't know him from a flea's ass.
Zelensky, yeah.
He's a kid. When he was an actor, not even a good one from what I heard. Well, I don't want to hate him.
Neither was Reagan that great of an actor.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't want to hate him because Reagan was a B actor. Yeah. So that doesn't mean.
Did all them monkey movies.
I don't know how much of what Putin was saying and how much he was saying was true and not true. There's no Americans over there watching anything. So as far as I know, as far as I know, Russia could be telling the truth. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I really don't think they are, but. And then there's the fact that Putin has a disease. It depends on who you listen to. Yeah, so that's the thing. Right now, they were saying Parkinson's, but then he's supposed to have stage 4 cancer. So I don't know what's true and what's not. We've seen the stage 4 cancer come out of several reliable sources, and the Parkinson. He might have both. So that means he don't have that much time left. So why irritate a man who's got 5,000 nukes under his finger?
Yeah. And if the cancer doesn't get him, the Parkinson's will. Neither one has a cure to it. So,
well, Sarah, you could be right. They could. The Russian generals could step in and not fire the nukes. I don't know. Do you want to risk that though? Do you want to risk that his generals won't fire nukes because they don't know if Putin calls in and say America's launching? They're going to launch. They don't know till they get up. It's a dangerous game we're playing here.
Very dangerous. And with these current airstrikes that happened this week, almost every news source, reliable or unreliable, is saying that this is something that NATO will eventually have to step in on, and then there's World War III. So it's scary for the whole planet.
Well, the UK said that if they nuke anything, that they want immediately nuclear response. Okay, UK, that's fine. You know what? And if you and Europe want to go after Russia, which would be nice for a change instead of us having to get involved, go for it. Y'all are plenty big enough to take out Russia.
They can operate on their own. They don't need our
They have
approval.
their own nukes and they have their own military, which is mostly our stuff, but it doesn't matter. We know it's good equipment. You've seen us kick ass all over the world with it. And that's another thing before we go. Please write to Biden and tell him if we're going to keep giving shit away to replenish our sources in case we need it.
Yeah.
So we've depleted several things in our stock. I'm like,
including money. He's giving another $275 million this week.
Just have him. Just tell him, Mr. Putin, please replenish our missiles and everything else because I don't want to die if Russia decides to attack us. It's it's scary stuff. And he already wants to invade. Well, no, that's not the Russians. I'm sorry, Chinese want to invade Canada. It'd be funny because I hate to see Canadian cities get nuked, but the United States is not going to put over China.
Yeah,
we will nuke the living shit out of them.
I mean, they're our next door neighbor. They're our friend. And
when we found out they had them 10,000 troops over there for a snow train, and we call it pink shorts, and told me, look, you want to have them in your country, that's your business, but they can't have weapons. Their weapons got to go. If they have weapons, we're going to come remove their weapons. And they were serious. They were going to send a team up there. What was going to the Canadians do? Spit at us? I mean, really? There's only 38 million. I'm up there in the first damn place. That's not even the population of Russia, California. No, we're not going to allow Chinese to be on soil above us with any kind of weapons. It's just not going to happen. We don't trust them. And as far as them invading Taiwan, I don't care what American president's in office. No American president's going to tolerate them invading Taiwan. Even though we're bringing our chip building home, which we should have never let our chip building out of our sight because all that did was give technology to China and other people. We're not going to let them take Taiwan. Taiwan is an independent. They've been a democracy the whole time, and we don't usually allow democracy. I'm kind of surprised about the Ukraine. I'm surprised the U.S. didn't say, whoa, wait. You want to start a war? Fine, we'll start sending stuff over there. And because I'm not sure.
Crimean, that we should have done something then too. We really didn't.
Yeah, who we had in office for Crimea in Georgia? That was wussy ass Bush. Was it Obama? I know it was either the wuss Obama or the wuss Bush. It was one of the two.
It was Obama.
No, not Daddy Bush people. Daddy Bush would have started a war all over the place. Daddy Bush liked to fight. The only reason I felt safe under Baby Bush is because he had Darth Cheney at his side.
Yeah.
And no, he earned the name Darth Cheney. First, he had to get his heart replaced, and a week later, he's up on the stage talking. And he was an evil bastard. He had no qualms on blowing people up.
He shot his own friend in the face with a shotgun.
I know. And I was probably teaching him a lesson. Don't talk shit about me, buddy.
It wasn't an accident.
Yeah. So, no, he's the reason the wars went off the way they did. Did you see how efficient we took out Iran? Do you know? I mean, Iraq. Do you know we would take out Iran just the same way?
It took us 15 entire minutes to destroy their entire air force. 15 minutes.
And you know what? Russia wouldn't have much a better chance either. Neither would China. Everybody keeps saying, China's building a huge Navy. Let them build a huge Navy. We'll just send our Air Force over there and blow them off the face of the planet.
Yeah, with the F-35s and F-22s, they're our history.
No, China doesn't have a real stealth. It's a fifth generation. It's supposed to be a stealth fighter. But the problem is it gives the exhaust plume is so big you can see it coming for miles. Yeah, they still haven't fixed it yet. They're bitching about it. Germany was going to send them engines, and then the U.S. said, no, you're not. And they don't need our technology. We don't want any of our enemies having that advanced of technology. Currently, China was well on the way to catching up. Right now, according to Xi Jinping, because of what Biden just did the other day, he feels that they're going to be in electronics and certain things are going to be 20, 25 years behind us. But some people think in AI, they're ahead of us.
They might be, but if you think of it this way, they just how many years ago, last year it was, whatever, they sent something onto the moon. They're basically in their 1960s air war or space war.
That's what they are,
or space race. They're not as advanced as us technologically speaking, as far as that goes.
Jay, that's an excellent thing. So look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Jay's telling you they're sent like 5 missions, 6 missions.
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk is sending 2 a day.
Yeah.
He is launching shit, taking it, and wait, he's landing them back on the ground with it. Well, they ain't blowing them up. Yeah, he had his problems in the beginning, but he is. So one of the things I liked about Elon, one of the things he said to Putin, he's got like 5,000 of those Earthlink satellites up. He's got other stuff up there besides that. He told Putin, "You go ahead and launch any missiles you want at us." He said, "I will just aim one of my satellites and knock it out the way, or destroy it. Either way." He said, "I guarantee you, I can make satellites faster than you can make missiles." And he's right, and he can defend the country against it now.
They might physically make the missile quickly, but to get the nuclear weapon on it, that takes a lot more time.
Yeah, and how much plutonium? Even though they do own 20% of America's plutonium, thanks to Hillary bitchhead. Hillary sold the Russians 20% of our plutonium. I'm like, wait, what? Who would sell Russia anything of ours? I mean, that's just ignorance. That's just somebody was giving her money in the right places.
She was trying to buy the presidency.
No, Trump put an end to that shit. No, Trump said, no, you're not getting no more of our plutonium. You can forget that. So they're limited to what they have and what they can build. And judging from their last 10 launches, I'm not that scared of them. They've had one missile get into space out of 10 launches. Like 5 of them blew up on the pad. Thank God they didn't have nukes on top of them. So they're not quite where they need to be. And remember, they just now started rebuilding missiles just recently, and they're saying they built like 50, which means they built like 5. We still have a stockpile of 6,000. They still have a stockpile of 5,000, but both stockpiles are old, man. They're 20, 25 years old. We don't know how well.
Missiles.
The only difference between Russia and America is we've been changing out the missiles every 8 or 9 years. So we put new missiles, and then we use the other missiles for other things. So that way, at least we know our missiles are going to get off the ground. Well, no, you don't have to worry about the warhead because the way the warhead's designed, there's nothing really to go bad on it.
Yeah, it cannot explode if the missile explodes unless it is armed to explode. And it's almost all nuclear devices, it's an airburst explosion. So that at a certain height, it will explode. But if it's armed and something shoots it out of the air, because it'll arm itself near its target, if you destroy it, then the nuclear weapon is likely to go off.
Rashish, I'm sorry, I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. Roche, that's not Roche. What is that? Well, anyway, you're right. When they do like 1,000 or 1,500 feet airburst, a lot of times the buildings directly below will be left standing, and everything after that will be wiped out.
Just like in Tunguska, which was not a nuclear weapon.
Yes, which we don't know what the hell that was.
I'm fairly certain that it was an airburst meteor. Now,
that's what they say it is.
Well, it had to be because number one, if you've ever stood by a campfire on a pebbly beach, some of those pebbles have water inside of them. If that water boils, the pebble will explode, and you can see them pop and fly out of the fire pit. What they found when they investigated Tunguska, and this was 1908, I think, is when the explosion happened. They found a huge area of trees that had been toppled in a radius, but trees directly under the explosion were still standing. But they found about a half-inch layer of iridium, which is not natural to the planet. It is only found in meteors up in the meteor belt up in our solar system.
That's one of the things that got the Big Bang Theory. I mean, not the Big Bang Theory, the theory that whatchamacallit, the peninsula, where they said the last meteor hit the Great Extinction. What is that? I can't remember.
Chicxulub extinction.
No, this is what is the name of that damn peninsula? It's in South America.
It's in Mexico. It's called Chicxulub. It's the Chicxulub blast. It's 65 million years ago that allegedly killed all the dinosaurs.
So the problem with that is they've been digging and not finding anything from space. They were talking about it just the other day again because they sent another group out to go digging. They're actually doing core digging. And the guy said, look, after a certain amount of feet, if you don't find it, you're not going to find it because you done passed the blast radius. So far, they haven't found what they thought they were going to find, which was 3 or 4 chemicals that are usually found inside of meteorites when they explode in the Earth. They haven't found this in the dirt yet. They don't know what happened. And remember, this one didn't explode above it. This was a sheer impact.
Ground impact, yeah.
Which created big old tsunamis and all around the world. And it was big enough to make tsunamis around the whole entire planet.
Well, it also instantly incinerated the land. All the trees in a 60, 70-mile radius instantly burst into flame, according to theory. But it also left a crater that's partially on the end of the peninsula and partially in the Gulf of Mexico. And the three chemicals they're looking for, the biggest one would be iridium, and they've been looking for that for a long time. And this is 65 million years ago. That stuff could have easily
been
eroded
going.
away or leached
Yeah,
into the
Chris.
water
Yeah,
and
I always
disappeared.
call it the Yucatan. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, Yucatan Peninsula, I think also.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it's
the
called
area is
that.
Chicxulub, the very end of the peninsula.
So, well, in the deep impact, they should have found something. But since it's underwater, most of it's underwater anyway. I don't know.
Half
Jay
of
might
it,
be
at least,
right.
yeah.
You're not. You might have washed away. You got a lot of hurricanes come through there. A lot of other stuff. It is possible, but what Gene Wright said, one of the researchers, he said if that was true, still we should find a trail out somewhere. But you don't know how deep and how it's 63 million years ago. I mean, you don't know how much stuff has covered that. The Gulf is deep. I mean, the Gulf is really deep. Most people, somebody the other day told me, "Oh, the Gulf's only 400 or 500." My ass, it's 4,000 plus feet deep. The Gulf is deep, deep.
Wasn't there also an ice age after this? I mean,
Yeah, then there was an ice age. I think there was
the
two
ice could have
actually.
pulled any of the material we were looking for away from the ground.
So, there's reasons why it might not be there. I know the conspiracy people want to say it was something else, and it may have been something else. A guy said the other day maybe it was a large craft of some kind, and they came and retrieved it. That may be true. But, bottom line is none of us were there. So none of us know exactly what happened. The meteor is the best theory. And it's not okay, because the meteor covered the atmosphere in dust. That's what actually killed the dinosaurs
Dust
around
and
the
dirt,
world.
yeah. Smoke from the fires that come up afterwards.
Yeah, there was, and it wasn't just like the dinosaurs died overnight. And you're right, some of the ones in the ocean should have survived. And
Some of them did. The coelacanth survived.
Crocodiles are still here, and some things did survive.
Coelacanth, maybe a couple of plesiosaurs, maybe some other deep sea.
And we don't know
giants.
how many other things lasted far after that. Well, no. The mammoths weren't there at that time. Mammoths are later in our history. Yes, I should say in our history, it's probably somewhere 20 million, maybe 10 million years ago.
Yeah, something like that. But they were
and we hunt. Yeah.
Else.
Well, most of them were hunted out. Nowadays, they think they were just hunted to extinction.
Well, there is a field in Siberia where they found like several herds that were flash frozen by some sort of
that could have been something else.
cataclysmic ice age event, and they were so flash frozen that there are restaurants in Russia and Siberia that are serving the meat, which is still good. You can go to Siberia and get a mammoth steak. This is no joke. You can actually literally go there and get a mammoth steak.
I know. They remember when they said they found buttercups in their stomachs and stuff like that, and
Plant still in their mouth, unchewed.
Yeah, there was there was a flash. In case y'all didn't know this, and it was in the I think in the 1500s, 1600s. There was a flash freeze event in the UK, and it actually started out as something else. It got really, really, really cold, and then they had like 10 years. They called it a mini ice age. Actually, is what they called it, but it didn't affect this side of the world. It was just over there. Don't ask me. It's why, I'll tell you one of the reasons why I get pissed off about global warming. Okay. Or because when a scientist tells me he can predict something out 10 years or 5 years or 100 years, I have to laugh. And I still remember this meteorologist. She said, I don't think it's funny, Joe. You shouldn't be telling people wrong information. I said, really? I said, I want you to predict the weather accurately for the next 10 days. Accurately. These son of bitches can't even predict it for the last 3 days, much less 10. 90% of the time when they give you 10 days forecast, it's going to be wrong.
Well, and the reason why, as I took meteorology in college, it's a guessing game. It's 100% a guessing game. They take the meter readings from the several devices happening right now. And they look at those same times of days last year, 5 years, 10 years back, and they use the data from years beyond plus the data they have today, and they guesstimate what's going to happen today. And they're usually fairly close, but they're not always dead on. I've seen them say it's going to rain all day today, and it's sunny all day. I've seen them say it's going to be sunny all day today, and it rains all day. It's a guessing game.
It's a guessing game. It's like the hurricanes or earthquakes. Oh, we got an idea. Yeah, I live in Louisiana, Mississippi. I have seen hurricanes a day off the shore, and they don't know which way it's going to go. Mm-hmm. You can't tell me that you can accurately predict weather 100 years from now when you can't predict it for 10 days or 30 days.
And they don't even predict the direction of a hurricane. They give you 3 or 4 possibilities.
Yeah, they do. And most of the time, lately the European models have been the most accurate, by the way, but still they're not 100% by any means. But my point is, ladies and gentlemen, if you can't predict the weather for 30 days with all these algorithms that are supposed to be predicting it 100 years from now, there is no possible way. Yeah. There's no possible way anybody can predict the weather 100 years from now. they can say global warming. This, as far as we know, an ice age could start. So remember this, guys and girls. In the 70s, the 60s and 70s, the scientists said, what did they say was coming back? The ice age was coming back. Now all of a sudden it's global warming. But what humans forgot, and a lot of scientists forgot, is that global warming precedes an ice age. The planet warms before it gets cold. Yes, and that's exactly what's going on. So as far as we know, we may be triggering into another ice age. The hydrocarbons building in the atmosphere will eventually make the planet warm enough. After it's warm enough, it'll start to cool again. It's just fact. It's happened more than one time on our planet.
It's happened so many times. And the other thing that makes me mad about the global warming conspiracy theorists, and they think it's our fault. It's not, number one. Number two, we have a minimal, if at all, any appreciable effect on it. And the thing is that global warming is a natural process of our atmosphere. It's been going on since before humans got here. It'll go on after we're extinct. It's nothing that we can stop, predict, or fix. And if we even attempt to fix it, we could damage our atmosphere so terribly bad that we kill off every species, including ourselves.
Yeah,
and that would be plain stupidity.
Just to help the people out there, the conservatives and liberals who want to say whatever you're going to say, it's true. We can't really accurately predict the weather at all. We're just at a point. You think we should be able to, but we can't. And in case y'all didn't know this, the last 10,000 years has been the calmest atmosphere ever. So if you go back and date all the way to the dinosaur eras, which they can get because of different kind of things and ice samples, they can tell what the weather was like. This is the calmest. The last 10,000 years since the last ice age ended, it's like a calm period before the storm. Earth isn't, people want to always think that we control everything, we know everything, but no. Earth has been catastrophic disasters happen on this planet on a regular basis. Come on. This is the 5th incarnation of life on this planet.
At least.
6? Yeah.
At least.
Well, some say 6, some say 5th, but regardless.
Some say 4. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot.
There's been at least 5 mass extinctions where less than 1% of the animals survive. And you think we know what the hell's going on. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, before we go, something for y'all to sleep about. The Earth orbits the sun, so we can get hit by meteors, but don't forget, the sun orbits the core. And every couple of 100 million years, we make a full round around the core. Well, we're not just going around a circle, we're going up and down and around. God knows what kind of things are out there. It may be every 100 million years, every 150 million years, we may pass through a group of stars that kills everything on this planet, just irradiates it. And then as we go away, it comes back to life. But something triggers a great extinction on this planet every so many millions of years.
Well, it's 36,000 years, 3,600 years, 36,000 years, and they may even be the planet Nibiru we come close to, a planet with such a high arc orbit that we only encounter it once in a while, and we get so close that it causes great, catastrophic earthquakes and whatnots. But here's another thing that people need to think about. If you haven't been in a hurricane, the calm before the storm is absolutely 100% true. I've been standing outside before a hurricane. Hurricanes have a minimum of 105 mile an hour wind sustained at the lowest level. And right before it hits your area, everything stops. There's no wind. There's no rain. There's clouds.
It's quiet. It's calm.
It is quiet.
And you can even see the water start to pull out away from the coast.
It is so quiet. It's eerie. It scares the hell out of you. And then the hurricane hits, bam, and it scares the hell out of you for about 6 hours.
Yeah, and that's all depending on how fast it's
the front side.
Regime? No, do you mean personally? Oh man, I've been through 3 Cat 5s, 4 Cat 4s, and a bunch of Cat 3s and 2s. Actually, down here, Cat 2s. This is what was so funny to us for when New York got hit by that Cat 2. We take our kids in rafts in Cat 2s. We go out in the Gulf of Mexico where they got the 8 or 9 foot waves, and we go rafting.
People go out surfing in those things.
Even in low Cat 3s, we'll go play. High Cat 3s are different because they're closer to our Cat 4. But we do. It's part of living down here. So we know, and you can tell when you're looking at a storm how bad it's going to be. You get an idea. But Cat 4s and Cat 5s we don't play with. We get the hell out of the way. I've had to work rescue on Cat 5s before, so it's eerily scary. And when you get out in the eye and you're looking around, just destruction everywhere, and it's just you could hear a pin drop. It's so quiet. It is creepy. And then you're sitting there for half an hour usually, and maybe it depends on what part of the eye you're in.
And how big it is, half
How
hour,
big
an
it
hour,
is.
45 minutes.
And then you start to see on the edges shit start flying again. It's time to get in
It's time
cover
to get
somewhere.
back indoors.
And some sides of the storm are worse than other sides. It's
The backside is always worse than the front.
so you just got to know your stuff when you're somewhere. But it can be creepy, eerily. It's strange. I've worked. I think I've worked 6 storms altogether. Once I got married and had kids, I kind of stopped it. But
Yeah,
well, I didn't want to get when I was young and I was in the Navy and stuff. I got out. I didn't mind. I figured if I was going to die, it was going to be quick and fast. So, but and you can't. Sometimes in life you got to take that chance. You got to step out there and save someone's life. And I have saved people's lives before. So you've got to be willing to get out there. Matter of fact, I've had people save my life. For Hurricane Betsy, I was 4, and where I'm living right now, about 150 yards up away from me, where the bridge is. My dad, we had a house back out in past Christian's Isles. He decided for some reason we were going to leave. It was getting dangerous, so he loaded everybody in a Cadillac, and we got up to where the road is, and we were getting ready to get on the bridge to get across it, and the wave just hit the car. And just a big, big Cadillacs with the fins on the back, and it was a big, huge ass Cadillac with big 400 something 80 engine horns, just lifted the car up and pushed us, and we were headed for the Gulf. I'm like, I really just was looking like in shock because I know what the hell was going on. I heard my mom screaming and shit. My dad was like, whoa. And out of all the things, as we were getting ready to go past the house into the Gulf, a chain link fence wrapped around the exhaust system of the car and stopped it. And I still remember sitting there watching the water coming in the car with the lights, because the lights were staying on under the water. It was weird, creepy looking yellow and red lights they had on the doors. And my dad said, I got to get help. And my mom was freaking out because he was going to take her, but he didn't want to leave me by myself. So he was gone for whatever time it was. Something for me, it felt like forever. And then he came back with help. And they came and got us all. And next thing I remember was waking up some cartoons, and the storm was over. And it wouldn't have been for them people, I'd been dead. Because my mom couldn't swim a lick. But I have gone, and because of that, I have gone out there and helped people. I've pulled people out of storms, out of burning things. It's just, if I'm there and it happens, I'm going to do it. If I'm not, there's nothing I can do. But
yeah, if you've never been through a hurricane, people, this is no joke. The power of these things is phenomenal. I've been through about 10 of them, and I can't tell you what categories they were. Biggest one I went through, the first one I went through was Agnes in the 71, 72 in Maryland. It just destroyed the East Coast, destroyed Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, all the way up to Maine. We were without power for probably 2 weeks, most of the state for months. Most of Pennsylvania was out for months, New York months. Imagine having no electrical power for months just because of a storm come through. I was in the one that I was in Savannah, that one that was supposed to hit us in Savannah, but it turned at the last minute. Like you said, we can't predict it. And it nailed Charleston and literally destroyed Charleston.
Oh, yeah.
Put Charleston under about 10, 15 foot of water.
I remember when Camille flattened the coast, I was outside,
Yeah.
10 or 11, and we had these big Delta umbrellas, the ones that globed over, and we just pop it because the wind was gusting. We just pull you down the street.
It'll pull you down. It'll pull you up to Oz. It'll take you to
man, it was crazy
territory.
By the way, I don't recommend that any children do that. That's dangerous.
Yeah, don't go out in a hurry.
If you don't have the ass, because I was a chunky kid back then. At least I had some ass. And if you feel yourself lifting, let go, because once it gets you up, you ain't coming down anytime soon.
Yeah,
it's spooky, and if you don't have to go through one, don't go through one.
Do not go through it. And if you're outside, get inside quick, because it'll kill you dead faster than anything.
I was here for Zeta, which turned into a Cat 3, right as it made short, which ripped the roof off of my house. I just got lucky. Whoever put the new roof on left the old roof on, the shingle roof on, so it didn't flood out my house. But it took that steel that was bolted down to the roof, and that shit is heavy even when it's not hooked, and just peeled it off my roof like it was like you opened up a tuna can. I was like,
was it copper or was it that aluminum stuff?
It was that I think it was like a 20 gauge aluminum. They went with a heavy shit on the house.
Yeah.
And because we couldn't even lift it. Yeah, we couldn't even lift it up, and it just peeled off. One section peeled off, sounded like an 18-wheeler hit the house, and it was gone. You couldn't see anything because there was 9 feet of water at the time underneath my house. And then the second piece, when it came off, came across. I had my rod and lawnmower up on the balcony, flipped it off, broke part of the balcony, and then took the other part of the balcony out as it went by.
It's the same house you're in now?
Yeah.
Yeah, your house is on stilts, so you're lucky you don't won't get flooded out.
Yeah, but 9 feet was only because we're not Katrina water. We're old school, so it was 1 foot and like 3 inches, and that would have been in my house. And
wow,
so you can't see. Let me see if you can see my roof. You can see. Can you see over here?
There we go.
It's
Hey, you got a
way.
helicopter too.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, my roof is from the ground to the peak of my roof is 22 feet, and the reason it's like that is because Katrina's wave right here where I'm living was 22 feet.
Wow.
So and now when you build a new home, bottom of your house has to be 22 feet now.
22 feet up off the ground.
Off the ground.
The bottom level.
Yeah, bottom level has to be 22 feet off the ground, and you're not allowed to close in because this house used to be almost 4,000 square feet. Well, they wouldn't let you close it in again. And right where my bedroom I'm sitting in right now, the one there used to be another room next to it. Well, 5 houses fell on top of each other, and the last one fell on the last bedroom of this house. But since it survived, they grandfathered it in. So now it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath when it used to be a 5-bedroom, 4-bath. So it's changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh no, I love it. I love it here, people. It's a great place to live. Well, I do have a bayou in my backyard, literally 25 feet from my door. And yeah, there are things you have to keep insurance on your house here. Other than that, it's a great place to leave, and you got to know when to leave.
Insurance.
And you got to know when you leave. And don't let your chihuahuas run around in your yard because the crocs might eat them or the eagles might get them. We got eagles, ospreys, you name it, hawks, all kind of shit that lives around here.
Eagles are huge birds. People.
Oh man, the other day we seen a group of 3. They must have been youngins. They were maybe 2 foot tall. When you see them out on the beach standing there, just standing there looking, they're like 3.5 feet tall, wingspans 4 or 5 feet wide.
6 feet.
Yeah, you don't even want to mess with these things. And then the ospreys are big, but the ospreys don't seem to be interested in my dogs because they'll be out on the balcony barking, and ospreys are just fishing. And we got a breeding pair that lives in. They come twice a year in this tree and hunt, and they know. And see, when I see them and I see the pelicans coming, I know my bayou is full of fish.
Yeah.
And it's an estuary. There's a lot of breeding goes on up in here, so there's a lot of fish coming in. Well, we had a dolphin 2 years back come and lived here for like 4 weeks. She didn't want to leave. She was having a ball. She was like, I was staying, and then somebody called and tried to run her out. And then when they caught her, they cut her up and shit. And they put a tracker on her to make sure she survived. But, they stressed that dolphin out far more than she was stressed here. And they kept going, well, she won't go under that bridge because of the cars. And I was like, well, there's no cars at night. Oh, I'm like, yeah, if she wanted out, she would just leave.
Yeah, and she's there for the food.
Yeah, she was having a good time.
Hurt nobody.
There wasn't nothing, alligator ain't going to mess with her, so.
No. They got a sonar weapon that they can use. They actually use to kill sharks. Mm-hmm. But even more importantly, there are hundreds, maybe thousands of documented stories where dolphins have saved and helped humans in distress in the water and near the water.
Yeah, so, she just she was enjoying herself and she didn't want to leave, and they forced her out of here. And every now and then you'll see a group of 3 come through, but usually you'll see them out on the beach. They'll come hunting out there from time to time. There's dolphins all along the Gulf Coast, so. Mm-hmm. You don't see them as much as you ought to. They're not going extinct or anything. They're just hunting deeper out.
Torsiops truncatus.
But anyway, we got to get out of here. People, we way over the line. So Jay, thanks for hanging out. Emily will probably be back next week. But on that note, good night and see you next Friday.